Yo, what is going on, Power Up family? Thank you guys for tuning in. Juan, what up? Dizzle, what up? BJ, what up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I didn't turn my light on. Slacking. There we go. A little bit better. Get a little prime time shine in here. There we go. Man, yo, how's everybody doing, man? How's everybody's Saturday night? You guys doing all right? It's 6 o'clock Eastern time, my time. I'm not sure what time it is yours, but man, I appreciate you guys being here. I don't know how many people are going to be here tonight for this one. I know it's a very touchy, sensitive topic right now, but that's what we do with the Power Hour conversations, right? We dig and we talk about the rough conversations that need to be had. You know what I mean? And I'm walking to your mailbox, listening in. Nice. Dizzle's on his PC. Nice, dude. That's what I like to hear, man. So first and foremost, if you're new to the Power Hour is literally a block of time where we just take an hour, at least minimum, an hour to just talk about, you know, complicated topics that are hot right now, or topics that, you know, are relative to our community and things that we're kind of going through as human beings and people. And I would be ignorant to pass by the conversation that's at hand in our world right now, dealing with the George Floyd situation that just happened. And it's got everything in the world shook up. It's got a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of talk happening. BJ, thanks, man. Thank you. My health is doing good, man. I passed the kidney stone by the grace of God. Thank you. I did pass it a couple days ago, and it was pretty gnarly, man. But we made it out. You know what I mean? No damage was done to my go-go power-ups. You know what I mean? And we're good, man. We're doing all right. And appreciate you just checking in on your boy. That means a lot, man. Thank you. But again, man, for those of y'all who are just tuning in, the Power Hour is literally just a time where we want to talk about real topics in a healthy environment where everybody's viewpoint is welcome. I'm not trying to, you know, cut anybody off because they don't share the same views as me. Last time we did a talk on faith, and you know, obviously I'm a Christian, and there's a lot of people that maybe don't believe in the same things, but we spent 6 hours going in and talking about faith and talking about what that means, what that looks like in 2020, and, you know, is it relative to today's climate? And I feel like that's what we do. That's what this is for, man, is to have a healthy place of dialogue, man. So if that's you and you would, you know, what I want you guys to share openly, type it out if you want, or if you want to jump in on the Discord and you want to talk with me on the mic and on chat so people can hear your voice and hear your, you know, your passion behind what you have to say, whatever it is. We have a Discord channel that I would love for you to get on. Just put !Discord in the chat. It'll get you in, and then we can get you in on the conversation with me and people within chat as well. So that way it's not just hearing just my voice, right? Like, I want this to be a place where it's welcoming everybody's voice, everybody's kind of experiences and worldviews, and we're putting them in a pot, and we're all trying to just figure this out and talk about it. And obviously, yeah, this is my channel, this is my show, if you will, but I want to be able to use my platform so other people can use their time and their experiences as well on, and let their voices be heard about how they feel. And because I believe everybody needs it, whether you agree with me or not, you know what I mean? And I think you need a place to vent and a place to come and feel like you can talk. And we can still get along, right? Like, so I feel like what is happening now, faith is one of the things that can help, because our country is broken right now. There are some areas, there are some systematic issues that go back centuries. I just don't know how else we can heal this. Yeah, man. There's a lot of, like, and that's that's definitely something to talk about, man, is the systematic issues, right? Like that's we talked about that earlier today. So for those of y'all who don't know, man, I made a post on Facebook, my personal Facebook. Travis, what up, man? What's good, bro? Good to see you, brother. Glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. But I made a post on my personal Facebook account that spoke to specifically my white brothers and sisters, and like the first half of it was just straight to my white brothers and sisters, and then the other half of it was to my white Christian brothers and sisters. And it was a very forward message, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't super gentle. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't trying to come off super easy, any of that type of stuff. Like I'm just enough is enough, man. A couple years ago I was very outspoken about, you know, how I felt about a lot of the police brutality pieces, and I got a lot of like backlash from a handful of my white family members and friends, people that I know. Just, you know, we didn't have the same viewpoint on some things, and just because I took a stand on like the topic and the issue a certain way, it was like, well, are you on their side? And I'm like, what does that mean? Who's talking about their and us, theirs and us, like mentality? Like that's not what, you know what I mean? And like some of that is still being talked about, and how it was kind of handled with me even still, man, is that some people think that I'm saying these things because, you know, I was in CHH or Christian hip hop and doing music, that I'm making these posts and these claims just so I can keep up good standards and keep brownie points from my black friends, right? Like as long as I have black points and power or whatever it is, like behind me and with me, then you know, whatever, trash to everything else. Like it's just really strange. It's really odd, like, to hear that, because it happens, and it's happened to me, that people think that that's what I'm trying to do. Like I'm trying to just get likes and comments, and no, that's not what I'm trying to do. I will say I don't see Christians treating this issue much better than secular world by and large. Too many put their politics above their faith. BJ, I'm sad to tell you, as a Christian, right? Like you're not wrong. There are a lot of people who put more faith in their politics, but will tell you their faith is elsewhere, right? Like, but it shows how they talk, and it shows how it's like, I'm not relying on politics. I don't rely on the system, right? Like I'm not, I don't know, man. It's really weird. It's really weird. Hey, D-Faith, what's up, bro? What is good? I'd like to join the Discord because I have some points and questions about all this. Yeah. Juan, do that, man. Let's do it. Again, guys, if you want to join in, BJ, whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like, join in on the Discord, and I would love to hear, you know, some of your guys' thoughts, some of your maybe experiences, or just where mentally you're at. Because obviously I'm gonna talk about how I feel, but I want to bounce off with you guys. I want this to be a discussion. I want this to be that type of thing where, you know, it's always the Power Hour conversations are like that. You know what I mean? Four Ninjas, my boy Travis, I would love for you. D-Faith, I would love for you guys to join in on this chat in the Discord. If you're not in on the Discord, man, please join in on the Discord, and let's have some conversations. You know what I'm saying? I've seen prominent evangelicals say, well, this George Floyd situation, that's murder, but it's an isolated incident. But how many times does a cop have to murder a black man before people see this issue goes deeper? Yeah, we're gonna talk about it, BJ. We're gonna talk about it tonight, man. How do I join the Discord? I'll put it in the chat for you, right? So the Discord is right there. Click the link. It'll take you to the Discord, which is an app, and you can get in on it. And you know what I mean? Like, and there'll be you'll see a bunch of little side channels within the main channel, right? It'll be the Power Up channel, and you'll see, if you go all the way down, you'll see a thing that says voice channels, and you can click general voice channel, and you can chat with us in there. So That'll be what we do, man. Isolated my foot. I had a post that showed, what was it, 30 different incidences since Trayvon alone. I'll probably have to jump in later, unfortunately, visiting family. Just wanted to come in and show some love for a sec. Hey, thank you so much, Ninjas. I love you, brother. I love you, man. And we're gonna get up and hit that grill soon, man. You already know. Sorry, I'm hot right now. This issue has been heavy on me. BJ, please get in on the chat and let's talk, bro. Let's get it on the chat, bro. I'll be jumping in that Discord chat in a bit. I'm making a grocery run. All right, BJ, yeah, we'll be on here for at least an hour and a half probably talking about this, man. So I'm gonna hop in the voice channel. We'll get somebody. Try to get like 1 at a time, 2 at a time max. I don't want to flood the voice channel where we have way too many people, but I am in the Discord. I'm in the voice channel. You'll see my name pop up inside the general voice chat. Join in there with me if you want to have some conversation over the mic so everybody in chat can hear. You know what I mean? Mike Dex, what's up, brother? What's up, man? Man, let's pack this place out, man. This is a big topic, and it is a real one. You know what I mean? Not that particular one, but that doesn't matter. The fact that incidents are event countable is unforgivable. I mean, the fact that my thing is, guys, like since I put my post out on Facebook, I literally have had, since Wednesday morning, I have been on video chats, phone calls, multiple, obviously, Facebook conversations and stuff within my threads and stuff like that. And between Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday yesterday, and even today, I did a video chat today with a group of people, which was beautiful, man. People from all different types of skin color, people showing up, and we had real conversations and talks and getting to just listen and hear. Like, it's been a lot of stuff happen, and I've been like, you know, talking to my pastor, being like, yo, what are we doing? What's our move? What's our next? What is the answer? What's the response from us? You know what I mean? Because just like BJ, you were talking about stuff, is like, the church, I believe, has a response. We have to have a response. And in these, because if God is about his design and his creation and his people, then yes, God should have a say so. And there should be a piece of where we see how does God handle and command us to handle these types of situations, right? Where is that command at? What does God want us to do? How is there navigating these waters, right? Like, there should be those things. And for me, that's been my journey, is I've always been about people. I've always wanted to help and inspire and encourage. And when I see somebody hurt or broken, I stand up. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to do, man, is stand up when I see my brothers and my sisters who are in pain and are crying out for like life right now. I'd be a fool to sit by and just be like, your pain is not real. And it's there's no reason to try and hear it. You know what I mean? And that even if you took the scriptures away from that, you took God away from that, like, people would say that's inhumane, right? To not care for another human being when they're hurting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hold on. Mike Deck said, oh, bro, that layout is fire. Hey, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, bro. I thought you were in here for the faith one. I don't know. I think you were doing, I don't remember what happened with that one, but yeah, I've had this one for a little bit of time, man, because that's what to me, the power hour is literally what the background is, right? Like, it's the matrix. It's decoding the matrix. Like, every power hour is us trying to figure out the matrix. Like, we're trying to figure this thing out. That's the way I did it, with strategic design in mind, right? Dizzle, we'll do another one, man. We're gonna do more group chats, man. That command is there. St. Paul talks about justice a lot. Yeah, exactly, man. Paul talks about it a lot. Jesus talks about helping the oppressed a lot. Yeah, man. All right. I think Juan, are you in here? Oh, it's D Faith. What up, man?
What's good, bro?
Chilling, bro. Chilling. Hey, yo, thank you, man, for joining in. I appreciate you, bro. I definitely, we got to get you in on one of those video chats that I do on Facebook, man. Like, got to get you in on that, because CJ was in there with us too, man. Charles was with us today. He hopped in. Yeah, it was dope. It was really, really cool. So, man, what are your thoughts, man? Like, where are you at, bro? And just kind of, you know, share some of your story, share your heart, man, with the people that are listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Um, it's deep, bro. I can start off saying that. You know what I'm saying? It's deep.
Yeah.
And like being, you know, being a Christian, having a Christian worldview, like, and being black, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a range of emotions that I wrestle with.
I'm sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, instantaneously, it's just like, you know, to constantly feel like, just one of them things where it's like for years to know something is there and to, you know, feel like, yo, people don't care, you know what I'm saying? Or
yeah, they
really just don't care. And then to have an attitude, you know, before I met Christ, to have an attitude towards, you know what I'm saying, a group of people, or, you know what I'm saying, just the government, like all these things.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, man.
Yeah,
just,
I mean, hey, man, listen,
saying?
I feel like you holding back, man. I feel like you know what I mean? Like, I want you, like, this is the thing. I want you to be honest, man. I want you to keep it a buck, keep it 100, like, all the way. Like, I want this to be honest dialogue, man, because the only way we're ever going to move forward from this stuff and learning how to stretch and grow is if we are honest about how we feel and what is happening and what we see and what we have seen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can hear it in you, man. Like, I can hear, you know what I mean? And I don't want you to feel held back because you have other people listening, or you're afraid of offending, or any of that, man. Like, tell you know what I mean? Like, I want you to feel that, man. And I want everybody else to feel you, man. Like, I want them to, because you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want you to feel like you have to, you know, to do that, man. I don't know. I just want to take, just in case you are, I just want to let you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, I love you, bro. I love you, man.
Bro. Yeah, same, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like, number one, bro, it feels, you know what I'm saying? It's amazing, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I salute you, you know what I'm saying? Just from the time that I've known you, bro. Like, you've always been a solid dude, you know what I'm saying? With just a great heart just for people, bro.
Yeah, thanks,
you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, that's just commendable in my eyes. You know what I mean? When I see you make that post, you know what I'm saying, like, it's just commendable, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't have to be where, you know, it shouldn't have to be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
You know, we just think about just people are people, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that you're, you know, willing, some people are afraid, especially being Christian, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean, being a white person, you know what I'm saying? You might feel the pressure of the society that you're used to, you know what I'm saying? You might feel the pressure of, I don't want to say anything that might offend other people around me. Or I have family members that are police officers, or, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, kind of feeling like, well, I'm going to just draw back, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the problem that, you know, most people of my complexion, you know what I'm saying, I've been facing. It's like people that remain silent when they see clearly that certain people are being attacked on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's good, bro.
So my mindset, yeah, man, like my mindset, bro, like initially the type of person I am, I always say this, you know what I'm saying? I'll be joking around with CJ, bro, but if I didn't know Christ, if I didn't know the love of Christ, bro, you know what I'm saying, then I would be like really rebellious, really standing up for my people, and I probably would be heartless. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the things that I've seen that we've experienced. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mindset would be burned down. Everything. You know what I'm saying? War. Like, you know what I'm saying? As a people, like, when you feel like you've been attacked and you try to peacefully talk, you try to peacefully let other people know, you ask, you cry, you beg for help, and you try to mind your business and you're still being attacked, it's like, well, it's war then. You know what I'm saying? That's like my natural mind state, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like having a Christian worldview, You know what I'm saying? It's like, now I know, you know what I'm saying, how to apply that. It's
Facts.
like, no, definitely learning that God is a God of justice, and he's a God that always has a heart for those that are impoverished and those that are been oppressed and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So just learning how to, you know, how to use, you know, your influence and how to speak out, and, you know what I'm saying, how to create awareness, you know what I mean, where you can organize people to put a stop to something other than,
It's good.
you know, like, you know what I mean, violently. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good, bro. So I mean, like, how do you feel, bro, when you see or hear, you know, like, these situations pop up, you know what I mean, in the media and just in general, like, and how do you feel about those situations, like the George Floyd, the Ahmed situation, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, how do you feel when you see the responses from your white brothers and sisters, right? Like, that are, you know, supposed to be in arms with you or whatever, or have said they're in arms with you, but then, you know, what are some things that trigger you, and why do they trigger you, right? Like, what are things that when you see a, you know, a white person say this, you're like, bro, I don't think they get it. Like, what is it that you're like, that you don't think, like, so, because I think there's probably a good amount of people in here that probably are white, right? Like, and I want them to know, like, how certain wordage or word usage flares up something in you, and what is it? What is it that flares up in you that, you know, why do you wrestle with that, and what is it that you're wrestling with? And you know what I mean? Like, maybe try, if that makes sense, like, how do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when, like, everybody's been in school, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's been in school. I'm pretty sure that they've encountered or seen someone be picked on in some fashion, shape, you know what I'm saying, or man, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've seen someone bully somebody or pick on somebody, or, you know, joke on somebody that may not have been, you know, as cool, or for whatever reason. It's like that. It's like being bullied for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen, like, like those school shootings, right? And everybody is like, you know, it hurts to see the end result of some young boy walked into a school and shot it up. But then when they start to dig through the history and what he was going through, it's like, he was being bullied, he was being picked on, you know, he was constantly, that's the natural thing to do, is to, if you feel like everyone's against you and to attack you, you want to fight back. You know what I'm saying? Or you want to destroy whatever it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it feels like, you know, he had classmates that knew that he was bullied, but didn't say anything, you know, or didn't help, or they just walked past. You know, they saw him get pushed up against the locker and they had their books and they just walked on past because they had to get to class. That's how it feels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, to imagine just like a grown man, like, first of all, your neck, everybody knows, like, your neck is like a sensitive area that,
right, yeah, there's a lot of things that are attached to your neck.
Yeah, you know, your vertebrae, your back, like, all these things, man, oxygen, like, but to have a grown man basically just sit on your neck with his knee comfortably with his hand in his pocket and just sit there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it was blatant. It was a blatant murder, right? Like, it was a blatant, we saw that, you know what I mean?
And it's the fact that he felt comfortable enough to do that. Like, he didn't even feel any sense of repercussion.
Yeah.
You know, and then to see,
so how does that
people comment.
So I'm about to say, so how does the comments, I don't know if you're about to get to this, but, like, how does the comments from, you know, in the posts from your white brothers and sisters, though, like, that, what are the things that you see from not, obviously not all of everybody who's white says these things, but what are the things that make you, like, cringe or be like, oh man, like, bro, they, like, you know what I mean? Like, what What is it that stirs your heart up and makes you like really frustrated, where, you know, or angry or upset or hurt? What hurts you? You know what I mean? Like I want to know like that, like part of it for everybody else to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Really not being looked at as people, bro. You know, you can't honestly look at somebody as a person and watch them get murdered, you know, by a police officer and not feel nothing.
Well, I mean, like, well, so like most people, right? Like, for instance, all right, so I'll just throw this out there, right? If you see a statement that says, look, everything, like if somebody made a post and they said everything about this George Floyd and the cops were 100% wrong. Everything was wrong about that. It was terrible. He did the cop murdered George Floyd. But not every cop is bad. But not, you know what I mean? All this stuff, right? Like, does that sit uneasy with you?
Yes. And this is why, bro. Because it's not the time. It's not the time. Like, we're addressing this situation. It's not the time to talk about your politics, your beliefs. It's the time to show some compassion and understanding and just like come alongside as far as for justice. That's what time it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not time for someone to start telling me their politics, because I don't care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a person. This is not the time to give me your viewpoints, you know, the things that we can debate about all day. It's not that time. Like, this is a murder that took place.
Yeah.
We need you to acknowledge that. And after that, be quiet. Give a moment of silence, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it can really undercut the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just talking to my wife about this earlier, and I definitely believe this is a tactic used by media on the people.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? How when something serious is said, or you see something serious, and then a comment underneath of somebody being completely ignorant and talking about something completely different, and or saying, oh, this is all this conspiracy theories and all that stuff, it undercuts the serious and the severity of the situation and makes people not take it in as serious as it is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what do you think? Again, I'm doing this to help, I think, other people maybe understand, right? Because I've had enough conversations with you that like other people, like I think I, for the most part, pretty much understand. But like, what is it? What is the severity, right? Like we saw like people were like, even people that are like, well, he was like other situations, maybe not this one, other situations where we've seen, you know, a guy, he wasn't 100% compliant to the cop. He had a little pushback, but he ended up dying, right? Like he ended up still dead. Yeah. Like, and they're like, well, he ain't complied nothing. He should have just complied. He should have just did what the cop asked him to do, and he would have been fine, right? Like he should have been fine. Like, you know what I mean?
It bothers me because it's not like walking onto the highway, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, yo, when the cars are coming and you walk onto the highway, it's a high chance that he may get hit by a car and die. It's like, yo, you shouldn't have walked on the highway. Why was he walking on the highway? You know what I'm saying? This is a system. A police officer has a certain amount of rules that he has to follow in a certain way that he has to do things. You know, in this society, when you arrest people, a lawful arrest, it's certain things that you do. If somebody's non-compliant, you might have to use a little force to get them to the place where, okay, we have them detained. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for someone to abuse that power and people act like, well, he shouldn't have resisted, that doesn't qualify the murder or the death. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's not like walking them across the street into a highway. This is a system set in place that once they have you detained, it's supposed to take you to jail, bro. Read you your rights. Like, there's whole cases that's been thrown out of court because somebody didn't read them their rights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why is this any different? You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's good, bro.
Can I jump in there
Yeah,
real quick?
about to say we got some other people in
point.
here. Yeah, go ahead, man.
So, first and foremost, this whole situation is just all kinds of messed up. There's an unnecessary loss of life because there's no reason that man should have died. First and foremost, that needs to be said. One of the things that kind of struck me about what D-Faith says, and this is just a counterpoint, is not all cops are bad. Shouldn't be stated now. I'm of the opposite opinion. I think it's necessary to state that, mainly because of the fact that, you know what, it is true. Not all cops are bad. Focus our energy and attention on these, 3 or 4 cops were there and committed this crime. Them to the microscope. Put them at the mercy of the laws that should be there to protect us. Because I'll give you an example. My friend in New York, one of my basically closest people I grew up with, is a cop in New York, and I called him today. I was like, "Yo, you all right?" I found out they're burning precincts in New York.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not to say that the cops in New York aren't bad, because I grew up in New York. I know how the cops are, I know how the cops can be. And I've known some great cops, and I've known some real a-hole cops that, to be honest, deserve to be locked under the prison. I've seen it. The thing is, the energy needs to be focused on not only the people that are doing this, on the system that empowers them to do this. I agree 100% that this entire system is rigged against you. This is why. Let's follow the dollar. Let's forget about religion, politics, the whole nine. Follow the dollar. How much of our economy is based on the prison system?
Yeah.
I remember reading a report, and I can't remember I gotta find it one of these days. It says if prisons were cleaned out and we weren't getting any income from prisons, our economy would collapse.
Wow.
It speaks volumes to the level of pressure that are going to be put on by the people who have the money and people that make the power, pushed down all the way to the people who enforce it. Say, you know what, we got to keep ourselves stocked. We got to have this workforce so that our economy doesn't collapse. How is that in any way right? The entire system is now looking for a reason to put somebody in prison, to somebody down the way they did. Knee to the back of the neck is no excuse. Neck is this basically the junction point to the rest of the body from your brain.
Yeah.
Where in any handbook or anything says to do that? Life isn't being threatened. You have 3 other officers laying on the person. Don't give a damn if you're like 500 pounds.
Right.
And even if you're 500 pounds, the other people laying on top of you, you're not gonna do much. Your life isn't threatened. There's no excuse for that, none whatsoever. And I think they should put that guy and try him for murder.
Yeah.
I'll jump in. He did get arrested and he is being charged with 3rd-degree murder.
You see, the question I have towards that is, had there not been such a public outcry, would this have happened?
I mean, I can't say yes or no to that, but I do know he's arrested. I think it was yesterday, and he's being tried for 3rd-degree murder.
Yeah, which is dope. He should be.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So,
it's good.
And I know, and on top of that too, I know a lot of people are upset that it's only 3rd-degree murder, but people kind of need to take their emotions out of that portion of it, because 3rd-degree murder is probably the only charge that would stick and put him in jail. He would probably get off on 1st or 2nd-degree murder. And people, I know your emotions are real high, but I'm a real logical person, so I see why they went that route, and I think it makes the most sense, and it's going to put him in jail for a long time. And obviously not as long as 1st or 2nd-degree murder, but the first 2 wouldn't stick, and then you would see him get off free. And I think that's just a part of the justice system, but I think they went about that smart, because if he were to get off, he wouldn't be he would live his life free at that point when he shouldn't. So
right, and I see the point of going 3rd-degree murder, but at the same token, if this was a first offense, like a junior cop, not to say that it's understandable, but you expect the mistakes from them. Expect them not to know as much. What I've read about this cop, he's had a history of this stuff.
Facts.
So it's like, it's not an isolated incident.
Nah.
One of the things I want to mention, and I got to say this, if you didn't tune into Justin's Facebook room today, you missed out on a solid conversation.
Yeah, it was dope. Super dope, man.
Just sitting there talking to people and just know what? It wasn't even that I was talking. I was listening most of the time. I literally just said, turn off your talking brain. Just listen. I can guarantee you, you can walk to any person of color, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. They can tell you a story about police harassment. Depending on, especially if they grew up in places like urban areas like New York, where I grew up in, California, you know, all those kinds of places. For me, it's a shame. It's a sad state of affairs that I can walk to a whole group of people of color, and I can guarantee you at least half, if not more than half of those people can give me a story about how they were harassed by police officers. They were mistreated just because they were existing. Even because of I did something wrong, they were mistreated because they existed. What kind of world is that to live in? You know?
Yeah.
A lot of that can be attributed to a couple of different things. So, do you see the newer generation? They're ignorant because they don't know any better. They get taught from their parents down. So what happens is just regurgitating the same message that was taught to you before, that was taught to them, and so on and so forth. But where's the change? So change comes into play when we become aware of these situations.
Yep.
Sadly, people have to lose their lives for them to become more aware. So I feel almost powerless because I'm a single person. How do I make a change? Guess what? I may not be able to make a change from my generation in my time here that's big enough to affect the entire system. Guess what? I'm raising a child. I'm going to teach her to be compassionate to all people. I'm going to teach her that it doesn't matter your skin color. If you're a bad person, you're a bad person. That's it.
Well, it's funny because I just had actually my 8-year-old, right? She just turned 8 in March. And we actually, after I got off my video chat, me and my wife sat down with my 8-year-old and we actually had a conversation with her, and it was just like, hey, listen, like we talked about like your like people that you know, like that, like do you notice anything different like with your friends, like from school and this, that, and the third, like do you notice any differences with some of your friends? Like what are things that you notice about them? And she's like, some people have brown eyes, some people have blue eyes, some people have this, some people have that. And she's like, some people, you know, have dark skin, some people have, you know, brown skin, this, that, whatever. And we're like, yeah. And she was like, so basically, long story short, man, I was just like, I told her that, you know, we obviously being faith-based family, like we look at this and we say, well, God, we know God made these things what? And she's like, you know, beautiful. And I'm like, right. Like, so, and she's like, they're perfect the way they are. I'm like, right. Their skin and who they are, and as a person, like the way they look, God made them, right? Like as a kid, they're beautiful in their skin and their uniqueness. And I'm like, but I was like, I want you to know that there are some people that because they have darker skin, there are going to be people that are going to say things to people with darker skin than you, and darker skin than me, and darker skin than some of your other friends. Because they have darker skin, they're going to get made fun of, or somebody's going to say something about it that's rude and disrespectful and not nice. And we just want you to know that when they do that, like, and she's like, why would they do that? That's wrong. And I'm like, I know. And we're like, but we want you to know, like, that when that happens, to stand up for people. Don't follow along. Don't play with the like, as soon as you hear it or see it, even if it's your best friend, even if the best friend looks like you, whatever, you guys, like, you know that she's a white girl and she's your friend, and you guys are talking, and there's this, you know, dark-skinned person next to you that's a part of your kind of circle of friends, but kind of not, and the person is saying jokes or saying things that aren't nice to this person and pokes fun at their skin, like, and says something about it that's kind of just out of whack. Don't follow that joke. Don't do it just to follow along. Be a leader and stand up for it, even if it's your friend. Do not ever follow that. And but I was like, I just want you to know that there will be people that will do that. And the people that pick on people about their skin like that usually look like us. And you need to stand up for people when that happens. And it was just a beautiful conversation, man, because just like sex, it's either I have the conversation with you and me and your mom have those conversations with you now, or we just try to withhold it because we want to keep your innocence and your purity of mind, and somebody else comes along at 9 or 10 years old and explains or expresses or shows you something as a perverted version, and then you're left with, I don't know what's true anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all of this starts in the homes, right? But that's where, again, all of this, I think, goes back to why we're in this position in the first place. And that's been my conversation with people probably the past 3 days, has been like, my post was aimed at my white friends, my white brothers and sisters, because I can't walk up in a room of the black community and be like, hey guys, so you guys should not be doing this and not be doing this, but you should be doing this. Because the majority of people are going to be like, why, bro, like, I thank you for trying to show up and talk about something, but you don't understand, you're not a part, you didn't grow up in this, so you don't, this doesn't really apply to you, right? Like, you can't say that. You have no trust here. You have no, you know what I mean, authority to say that. And so for me, in these situations, it's like my job, I feel like, for me, and everybody else, I guess, is playing it. Somebody else can play different roles. We all have different roles maybe we can fulfill. But for me, is to be like, I'm trying to more, for me, talk to a lot of my white, or at least expose some of my white brothers and sisters to the pain and the hurt that I see a lot of my black brothers and sisters and people that I consider like family to me, why they are hurting and why they say that they're in pain. Like my boy D Faith, I know him. D Faith is in here, great dude. I've known him for years. And I want people to be able to understand and hear, why does this hurt you? Because, you know what I mean? Like that's how we begin to start to peel back the layers and kind of heal from this stuff. And for us as white folks, man, like we have to, like, man, I'm trying to be like honest about it. Like, man, like we have to be honest about our history. And the reason why people are like, well, why is it that, you know, black people are very hostile towards cops as soon as they show up? And it's like, yeah, but you have to understand, what has the history been for the black community with cops? Let's go back to the very beginning. Since the breakaway from slavery, cops were arresting black males for little to no reason at all and throwing them in jail for long periods of time to strip them of where's the power in the home? It's in the father. You take the father away from the homes, you take away the power. You take away a big portion of power. And so that's why you see a seed of fatherlessness in urban communities and black communities, right? Like, it's because of things like that. But that's, and we wonder why in the white homes, like for me, I don't know. I've never met anybody who, I'm not saying it doesn't, because it can, but for me and most of the people I've ever talked to as white people, we've never had our homes have heavy conversations about race. We just don't talk about it. It would always be like, look, that happened a long time ago. We just don't talk about it anymore. Stay clear from it. Yeah, we stay clear from it. We're just not gonna talk about it. And like, that happened forever ago. So let's move forward. And then if somebody black or of color talks about it to a white person, the response has always been, growing up, was, anything I ever saw was, bro, I wasn't a slave owner. I wasn't this, I wasn't that. I wasn't alive during that time. I didn't do that to you. So why are you putting that on me? Don't throw that on me. I didn't do that to you. And it's like, bro, like, we have done, in the white community, we have done a disservice to ourselves by not talking and addressing about this stuff for too long. And we've swept it under the rug as if it doesn't need to be talked about. And now that this stuff is being, and like, because before cell phones were even invented, like, I remember hearing from my black friends about stuff like this happening in their families and different things, like other situations similar. And I would be like, I mean, okay, like, man, that sounds crazy. But I couldn't fathom it because I never had to worry about that. When I wake up and go to school, I'm not worried about X, Y, and Z. I don't know. And like, my black friends are always talking about race more than I was. And it's because in black homes, they're talking about it frequently. But in white homes, we ain't talking about it. We're not.
We have to talk about it.
Exactly.
It's reality
yes,
for them.
Yes, and that's my point exactly, Juan. Like, we have to, but white people don't want to, because you know what that means for us? You know what this means? It means that we have to take 20, 30, 40, or even older, if you 60 or 70, you got to take all them years of layers, and you got to start pulling them back. And you got to start doing a lot of work that is not fun to do. And you have to admit that we messed up. And you know how much pride and arrogance it takes to lower years of built up like power for yourself to say, yo, let me lower this and let me put this down and say, look, man, I agree. Every bit of that was wrong. And I hate what it did to not just your people, but my people too. I hate what it's done to everybody. All of what it's done to our country. Every bit of it was evil. Call it what it is. That junk was evil, bro. That junk was not cool. But instead, what do white people do? We deflect it and we tell people to stop talking. We're like, dude, stop bringing it up. Stop talking about it. I wasn't around, bro. Like, stop bringing up race. And it's
if
like,
you stop talking about it, it will go away.
Exactly. We think that it will go away. And what's happening is we are sitting right now, literally in a moment in time where the people that are hurting, we're doing the exact same thing by telling them, look, man, I see that this happened and it's bad of what happened to George Floyd, but not every cop is bad. Stop talking about it. Hey, this happened. This happened. What about white people that killed by cops too? I see that George Floyd died, but what about the white guy who died? But what about this? Stop deflecting the situation and just own this moment and see why people are hurting. That's my plea to literally every white individual I've had a conversation with since this moment has happened. And even before that, I was having this back in 2016. I was doing these same conversations. And my heart is literally burdened for that, bro. And I'm gonna hop off my pedestal, but I just wanted to get all that out so y'all can understand my point and just where my heart is at and what I feel like my job is. I love everybody in this chat. I love everybody in this stream. But my black brothers and sisters, they are hurting. And I have people that, like 4 Ninjas, he is my brother. He's been over my house, broke bread with me. I babysit his son sometimes. My kids been over at his house and they've watched our kids, and I've got my boy Chris Noel, my boy Keyway. I got a handful of dudes that I literally do life with. Not just, oh, I have black friends. Ask yourself, if you're white in this chat, when is the last time you have had black families in your house to eat and break bread? If you have not had any, you need to really dissect your heart and examine it. That's, you know what I mean? Go ahead, though, man. Yes, please. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So, are y'all familiar with the rapper Hobson? Because he went on live a little bit after George Floyd had been killed. And he said a lot of times what goes wrong is mainly in households. He pointed out the fact, he had friends, but he couldn't go over to their house because, their grandfather would then hate their grandson for hanging out with somebody that was black. He said stopping racism in your own home could be a big, benefit. He said that's one of the main ways white people can contribute to, ending racism is stopping it in your own home. Facts. So that way it doesn't get out.
So good.
So yeah, he even pointed out the fact he had a friend that he said there was a gay dude walking down the street, and then his friend called him out, and instead of just saying, bro, leave him alone, he actually kind of flipped out because he said, if I just say, yo, leave him alone, don't talk about it, that's not going to stop the problem. He actually needs to make a point clear that, yo, it's not okay, don't do that, stuff needs to be accepted now. Things are different than what they were back then.
Sure.
And if kids and younger kids could bring that forth to older generations, say a grandfather or something like that, then maybe I don't think racism will ever fully be gone.
Sure.
I think that's impossible. As long as people are different, people are going to hate.
Sure.
But, it could bring an end to certain households having it, and I feel like that can make the difference sometimes.
That's good. No, that's good. And I think 100%. And I think the hard part is if we're all honest, nobody, black, white, brown, whatever, red, whatever color you are, bro, listen, nobody likes to be uncomfortable. And most people don't like confrontation. And when you mix confrontation and you mix uncomfortableness, because there's a lot of uncomfortableness that has to happen and things that are just about this conversation that it makes a lot of people uncomfortable. And then it makes people not want to engage. But the realness is that growth only happens when you can go towards the uncomfortable moments in your life. Every moment that I've noticed in my life that I've been able to level up and grow, and people are like, anybody who ever listens to me or like, and they're like, man, like I'm inspired by this or whatever, it's because I chose to embrace the uncomfortable moments in my life and push past them. The way that I've been able to level up is because I saw the moments that were hard and I ran towards it instead of ran like backwards. I was like, nah, I'm a sit here and I'm gonna try to like understand this situation. Cool Breeze, thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, man, like it's hard, man, because right now this conversation is beautiful. I love hearing y'all's voices. I love seeing chat filled up with people. I love seeing people talk about this because it's important and it's how we're gonna grow.
Dialogue.
Yeah, dialogue is so good, man. Like, and it needs to happen. And I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna fall back and let y'all keep talking, man. And I've said a lot, so I want to just let y'all say what y'all say. Cool Breeze, or Cool Blaze. Sorry, I said Breeze. Yeah. Cool Blaze, what's up, man?
You good, man? Hey, yeah, no, this is really hitting it close to home because I was in a Zoom call last night with a bunch of people.
Dope.
We literally were talking about a lot of this stuff. I pretty much played like racial apologist for like 3 hours, talking about like, you know,
I'm with
the
you.
black on black. Yeah, man, it's tough because at one point I was talking about how a lot of times when I talk with some of my white brothers and sisters about some of this, how there's a great book called Divided by Faith, Evangelical Religion and the Problem of Race in America. And a lot of times, even when I talk with some of my white friends about it, you see a lot of themes that come out. And a lot of the times, this emphasis on individualism as opposed to a broader experience. So when people talk about racism, right, people will be talking past each other. And a lot of times they're like, well, I don't know if that person was a racist. Whereas if you're talking about systemic issues, right, and you start to look at the disparate rates that law enforcement engages black people with, or, you know, housing discrimination, redlining, and all this different stuff. And it's a really, really tough paradigm to break through because they're like, this anti-structuralist view of reality is really tough to break through. So I was having this conversation. I was constantly, and this one girl that was in the chat, and her dad had been a police officer for 20 years, and it was really difficult. And like I had mentioned how one time, I guess an older gentleman, I was trying to explain how you can have a racist ideology without necessarily having a racist intention. Wow. Some guy that was 75, I was at a National Science and Faith conference. I had a snapback, a hoodie, and I asked them a question about causality in the universe. And they were like, oh man, I was wondering, you know, what was a little black boy doing asking a smart question like that?
Wow.
I was a little dumbfounded. I was like, man, it's the best at the time that the dude grew up, but I was like, hey, like he meant that as the nicest kind of compliment, you know, but it was like, that was just a racist stuff. I was like, his intention was there. There wasn't a racist intention. There was a racist ideology there.
Yeah,
you know? And then she responded and said, well, I mean, you know, people come at me with blonde jokes. I was like, oh, like goodness. Everybody in the chat was like, bro, those aren't the same thing, like at all. But, you know, but it's like, and the thing that at the end of the call, I kind of use the analogy of, you know, it's kind of like I said, the game of Monopoly, where if you had a game of Monopoly and you said, all right, let's play Monopoly, and then you kick people out, let's say you kick 3 players out for 3 days, I'll continue to play the game, you know, and then I come back in, like all the properties bought up, all the money's gotten there, and then y'all say, all right, y'all, well, it's just about hard work, just get where we're at, you know what I mean? And I was just kind of like, do those people have the same opportunity? I'm not saying that, you know, woe is me or woe is the black, but I was like, that's kind of like you know, look at America and the history of a lot of stuff that wasn't rectified. It's like they don't think about a lot of this stuff because race doesn't really play as big of a factor for them. Like you said, they don't learn some stuff. Yeah. So I asked her, I said, long term, I said, I'm not trying to rant. No,
you're good. You're good. We're listening.
I asked her, I was like, I said, do you think that slavery and Jim Crow has had a long-term impact on black people in America? And she literally was like, I don't know. And I was just like, what? Like the fact that I was like, what kind of reality you kind of have to live in to not see the effects of something? I think part of that is this sanitized history that we have in America where, you know, it's like, I feel like, and I'm not saying white people are monolithic, black people aren't, but just like in the white mythos though, there's this understanding of like the black experience as slavery happened, it was a long time ago, Then like a couple years later, there was the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King gave some speeches, and then now everything's good. Like, what are y'all complaining about? You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't like go into the effects of any of it. Like, people are still living in the red line neighborhoods. People were prevented from buying land, which is what promotes generational.
Well, it's also
you know what I mean?
It's also easy for us. It's also easy for us, I believe, as white people to move on from that because we don't have any major repercussions of trying to say, like, if I go and wash my hands of this, my hands, there's no evidence of anything. Like, what are you talking about? We didn't do, like, now I feel like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean I ate that? No, I didn't. My hands are clean now. It's like, no, but
that's
you went
individualism.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, where it's like, it's not me, it's not an individual, and that's where you get into the broader issue. And I'm on the flip side because I just talked with a cousin of mine that's black. He's really, really militant pro-black, like anti-white stuff. He's like, I sound like a black apologist last night. I sound like a white apologist. I'm like caping for white people like all the time with them. I'm like, oh, they're not all bad, but like, and I just feel bad.
Thanks, man.
Just, right. And he's kind of apathetic or an apatheist, whatever you want to call it. And it's weird. I just got off the phone with him today because initially we had talked about reparations last night. I had given actually something of a good argument. I actually had a lot of white people like, actually, what you're saying makes sense. And I was like, whoa, like the way I framed it, you know, because but anyway, I had asked him because he had talked to me about it before, but he has these weird theories. And like you were saying, I was talking to him about how I think a lot of times there's this, when it comes to sometimes white people in these issues, not saying that it excuses it, but there's like people they don't know sometimes. Right. Some people don't care, but some people, they're like, they don't have to think about it. But I told him that, and he's like, no, they're just acting like they don't for the sake of power. And he's like, and then he started talking about that OK symbol being like supremacy sign. And, I don't know if y'all saw that conspiracy.
Nah.
And then like, and I was like, and he's like, really thinks that like white people are all conspiring and that they're all like, and like they're really all evil for me because it's, and it's just like
paranoia.
I was like, how, and I it's like, I view he asked me something today, and I guess, and it really kind of made me mad because I told him, I was like, man, I've been in predominantly white institutions and all this stuff. And like, I spent a lot of time around, white people and stuff. So that's why I know when certain themes come out. And then he asked me, he said, in my friendships, am I either like, am I a pet Negro or a magic Negro? Wow. And that really made me mad because I was like, I'm neither of those. You know what I'm saying? I stand up for myself. But like, that made me, and I feel like that's an attempt to racialize some stuff. But I was like, man, like, I don't know if I gotta cut this dude off because like I've been trying to say so I can be a light to him.
That's so crazy, man. Stuff, that's like, so good, man. That's so good because like the crazy thing about that is, man, and I'm so glad you're here on this conversation, man. It's beautiful, and I love hearing your voice, man. I love hearing your perspective, and I love hearing what you're adding to this because the truth is, man, is that there's one side of the coin where everybody thinks that, yes, every white person is just racist and there's no such thing as a black person who's racist at all. And it's like, no, there are black people who are racist, but they have their reasons, right? And to be real, there are white people who are racist towards black people with their prejudice for their reasons, like, right? They have a reason that, like, like, I'll just be, like, transparent. Like, my dad lived in Akron, Ohio, predominantly all black. School was all black. He was a minority. He got jumped by black dudes out by himself, got jumped, beat up, all this stuff for trying to stick up for his brother and do this stuff, and he got jacked up over some girl or some kind of crap. And so my dad developed out of that, and then I think later on, in like halfway towards the end of his high school career, moved into like West Virginia mountain area. And I'm like, so you went from here and then went into the redneck land, and you got a whole nother take of like people talking to you now, and where you're the majority and your racial view is being like all kinds of twisted,
manipulated.
All kinds of twisted. And I'm like, so there are things that I saw in my life that I heard from my dad or my granddad, right? That I was like, I'm not experiencing this, but the way y'all are talking is going to mess with me if I'm not careful. And because two things. One, honestly, man, like, because I fell in love with hip hop at an early age, and I had a lot of black friends and a lot of African American friends and people that were in and around me, and that helped me understand a lot more on my own. But then what happened is, obviously as a Christian, that shifted everything on its head and spun it around for me to understand even a deeper side of that. And so I think, yeah, I don't know, man, like it is definitely tough to have conversations with people. It's good to hear that you're fighting against people like that are, you know, obviously on, again, in a room that I would not have probably any wiggle room dealing with, you know, the guy you were just talking about. I wouldn't have been able to really talk with him, like, because he just would not hear me at all.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And it gets tough, and that's why I'm not trying to go on.
You're good. You keep going, man.
It's so fresh, man, because I'm like, it gets so difficult because there's these paradigms, and it's, you know, and it's like you can only intellectualize so much. And I just feel so weird. Like, this is refreshing and cathartic, because it's like, I don't know if there's a spiritual dimension where, I don't know, it felt like his creepy crawlies went through the phone, man. I don't know what it was. I was like, man, I gotta shake this off me, dog.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Man, but it's just, you know, I understand, because I think a lot of times it stems from certain things that have a basis, like you said, in this existential reality, like where experiences do inform it. But at the same time, I'm like, how can you? At one point he had said, man, I just think white people are sociopaths. I was like, dude, you can't say that. Like, that's not true. Like, I'm friends with the white people, and, you know, it's, you know, I don't know, for somebody to have this kind of conspiratorial view that, like, all white people know everything about racism and that they intentionally hide it. Like, and I was like, man, I was gonna send them the stream. I mean, I'm putting them on blast now, so I don't know if I can do that. But I was gonna send, but
just don't say his name. Just don't say his name. You be all right.
Yeah. And I was just like, man, is this dude in on it?
Yo, are you there? I don't know what happened. All of a sudden he stopped talking.
His mic cut out.
Oh no.
It was like audio cut out.
Cool Blaze, come back. Yeah, he was going in, man. He was going in.
He was on a roll, and you know, there's a lot of points that he brought up that were just like, you know,
a lot of stuff that the light's just not shined on.
Right, and the fact that these conversations happen and people still believe kind of stuff, it's like,
sometimes like with the you know, they're not meaning to be racist, but at the same time, you know, they were being racist. That, you know, that shined a lot light on a lot of stuff. Like when people want to stay to like their own clique, like they feel more comfortable around everybody that's like their skin color.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You're back.
But,
Oh, dope. All right, dope. My bad.
We were like, what happened? We didn't know what was going on.
Man, you saw what little the enemy doing, man.
Hey, facts, man. Try to keep you out.
Man, cutting you out.
Yeah, man. You know, he hacked into the Wi-Fi. My cousin did, man.
Yeah.
He broke the database and tried to copy the mainframe or something.
Hey, man, the enemy is real, bro.
Bruh, man. But I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to go back in. I mean, if everybody else got contributions, man.
Nah, you good. About to say Brizzo or D-Faith or Juan, or, you know what I'm saying, like whoever wants to keep. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Like, I definitely you know what I'm saying, Cool Blaze, yo, I definitely understand where you're coming from, bro. When you're dealing with people, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can relate on the basis that, you know what I'm saying, I'm a Christian, you know what I'm saying? I've definitely witnessed the people. And one thing about people, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what color they are, people are people.
Yeah.
And it's hard to have certain conversations at times. You know what I'm saying? It really do take the love of Christ to really bear with people. Because people will say some crazy stuff, bro. People will believe some crazy stuff, and they'll just be out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, I definitely deal with that on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, seeing the people that, you know, white, you know what I'm saying, that have their viewpoint, but then, you know, my brothers that are black, their viewpoint, you know what I'm saying? It's like I have to play, like you said, you was kind of like an apologist for both sides in different rooms. It's like you have to be that way, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you have the wisdom to be able to communicate, to use that gift, and to just, you know, trust Christ for that love and patience, you know what I'm saying, to be able to bear with people, you know what I mean, and then just try to love in deed and action.
Sometimes all it takes is a friend, you know.
No, for sure. And I've been trying to. Oh, my bad.
Oh, no, I was just going to say it.
Oh, my bad.
It's all good.
I was just going to say, like,
look at this Christian charity right here, man. I'm sorry. Like, everybody being polite and stuff. Nobody talking.
No, I was going to point out the fact, I don't know if you guys have heard of Daryl Davis, but he's a black dude. He converted over 200 Ku Klux Klan members without violence, like just out of there being a friend, more or less, introducing himself, and was like, "Yo, not everybody is the same way."
Bro, I watched that and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." And then I showed it to my dad. My dad ain't rock with it. He did not rock with it. Understandably so. I get it. You know what I'm saying? With me looking from a different point of view, I'm like, yo, he's winning these people like through love and action. Like they're seeing the hatred and you know what I'm saying, are changing and adjusting things because they're like, yo, my ideology was wrong because I thought this about these people, and now one of the people that I thought about this way, I like. Yeah, I really like this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think too, man. That like how do I say it, man? Like, I don't know. I just think that the more, two things. One, the more that this right here, this is how we are going to defeat the level 99 boss at the end. Yeah. You know what I mean? And by level 99 boss, that was what was described today in Facebook video chat thing that we did. It was amazing. I didn't even know. I was actually just gonna do a Facebook Live just video and I told everybody like I'm hopping off social media for the next probably week, spend some time away from it, fasting, whatever, and just kind of be like, look, I'm just popping off because I need some time to heal up. I feel like when I made my first post on my personal account on Facebook, I told my wife about it, and like for those of y'all who weren't in here, like I made it, and my wife was like, I hope you're ready. And I'm like, I'm ready for war. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm built for this. Let's go. Like, we in here. Yeah. And I remember, you know, yesterday telling her and just, bro, like I had so much built inside of me that I had to go away from everything and spend some time by myself in my car and just drive and just kind of, and I just sat and like, bro, I just wept, bro. I just cried. And it was just like, man, I'm tired of seeing my friends hurt. I'm tired of seeing my people who I call family, who are close to me. They're talking and the words that they're using and the ways that they're talking and how they're talking is just, it's pain. And I hear it and I want so bad to help in that pain. I don't want to see it anymore, man. And I don't want to see this happen to my friends, to walk around in fear and to walk around in any of that stuff, man. And it bothers me, man. And I'm trying to find my way to help and play my part of change. And obviously it doesn't happen in 5 minutes. It doesn't happen in one of these conversations. The way we beat the level 99 boss, the system, that's what the system is, right? The system is the level 99 boss. The way we beat that boss is by doing the very thing that we talked about like 20 minutes ago, which was it starts in the homes of us, our homes that we have and we lead as parents and as men. How are we instructing and teaching our children strategically? Are we intentional about the conversations that we're having with them about these topics? Or are we just going to do what has been passed on and cycled through generation? And for me, again, I can't speak for the black culture. I can't speak for black communities, but what I can speak for is my people, right? Like I can tell you for us, it has to start with not sweeping crap under the rug anymore. We have to go back. You gotta be open. We got to go back to that rug, open that joint up, look underneath of it, see the disgusting filth, and don't be scared to put your hand in there and start sweeping it out and grabbing it and looking at it and seeing the disgustingness that it is and call it what it is and hold it and get it out of the rug and stop piling it all back up, because for far too long, that's what we've done. And I think eventually the people that are in power now that hold a lot of those racial tendencies, that are in power, that are holding certain pieces together with that, they'll eventually start to fall off more if the people we build up now that will go into power, those people will be better than they are because of our parenting, because of our structure, right? Like that to me is how we win. We win at home. Home base has to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's what the child, like I think you mentioned you were a father, it's what you embody in your child at a young age that they'll carry for them, you know, for the rest of their life.
Yep.
It should be.
Yeah, man. And
that's one of the things that, you know, see in more rural areas, or people that don't, they just kind of sit there and they got one news source, have only thing they have is generational knowledge. To say that generational knowledge isn't valuable, because some things are valuable. However, ideologies and thought processes that were stuck in the early 1900s, because let's be honest here, this stuff has been happening in the last 70, 80 years. So our parents' time frame, or you could even go to the grandparents' time frame. It's not that far off. This happened in a blink of an eye if you look at it in terms of our entire timeline.
March to Summer was 55 years ago, man.
Yeah, but and the point that the best way to do it is you got to teach the next generation. This isn't right.
Right.
It shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
These people need a voice. These people need to be treated properly. And by these people, I mean just anybody who's been oppressed by the people in power, or by people in power. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings me to one of the major things that I've been struggling with the whole situation. Rioting. I don't condone looting and rioting at all. I don't think it's gonna make anything. It's like when you have a child that's kind of sitting there screaming, kicking, and I can't get the cookie and all this other stuff. Okay, you're doing that to get attention. What did they do? What did the small businesses do? Now, however, on the other hand, how do you tell somebody who hasn't had a voice, don't do what you do, this instead? When they've done this, for example, peaceful protesting, and I'll bring up Colin Kaepernick in this example. All he did was kneel during the anthem. Is that something I would do? No. I was in the military and I have a different view on what I believe that flag represents, and I've seen it from a different perspective. But he took his platform and said peacefully, this needs to stop. We have some police brutality.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's pointing fingers saying, oh, you guys are rioting and looting and all this stuff. Why don't you protest peacefully? Well, it's been tried. You didn't listen.
Right.
So the struggle that I have is I don't condone them doing that, because you know what? You honestly set a lot of people back doing that. You're putting necessary risk to people who have no involvement in the situation. If somebody would have died in those fires, like somebody set an AutoZone on fire, somebody set a police station on fire, Target was raided, McDonald's, all this stuff. People need to work. People in your community do not have a job because they have to rebuild those places. So now they don't get paid for weeks. They end up going behind on bills. What did they have to do with somebody getting killed by a police officer?
Not only that, but what about the small businesses? Like, I understand like a chain, like you raid Target, it's putting people out of jobs at the same time. Target, like that's just gonna be like whatever. Now, if you were to go to somebody's like small restaurant, and burn
mom
that
and
down,
pop spots,
exactly. Like that's actually setting somebody back a long time, because they don't have a chain, they don't have a multi-billion-dollar company that can fall back and. But
I'll say this too. I'll say what I do have a problem with, and I made it clear on a post, is if you spent 2 days not posting or sharing about your outrage of George Floyd dying, but you posted about the riot and the larceny happening and all the people robbing and doing what they were doing from Target, and you had an issue enough to post about that, that does not make sense to me. How I'm like,
James White.
Yeah, I'm like, why? Or that doesn't even make sense. How do you? How are we like? And you know the excuse I heard? The excuse I heard is, well, the George Floyd video and stuff about George Floyd already had been shared over a dozen times on my timeline, so I didn't feel like I needed to say anything else. The other stuff I just started seeing, so I figured why not share that? That's
you perpetuate. Oh my God, sorry.
You know, yo, go please go ahead. Like, I mean, I can go days and days about that. Like, that's. I'll let y'all do that.
Just that makes no sense. But you see, that's the other thing. With the prevalence of social media, people become keyboard warriors. I can share a post with a click and not have to worry about you saying anything to me at all. And you can sit here and we can discuss everything, and you can fight, and I can type all I want, and then blah blah blah, and then turn off my phone, and then the discussion is over.
It's gone.
Doesn't matter. Nothing's changed. We just had a fight, and that's it. It doesn't change anybody's perspective. The other thing that it did was it drew a line, a clear line between everybody. Because you know why? Ask anybody about themselves. You're either this or that, no matter what it is. Look at politics. You're Democrat or you're Republican. There's no middle ground. And say you're libertarian, but you whatever. Same thing. Race.
You lean
black,
some sort of way.
You're us, them, and that mentality there, instead of us being all-encompassing of us as Americans, us as humans, even to that level, we're never going to see eye to eye, ever.
I just want to bring up one thing that I've seen a lot, especially online, as people talk about how like, oh, well, you should do this peacefully, like Martin Luther King. And something, I shared this with Cool Blaze earlier today. Martin Luther King's daughter made a post on Twitter, and she said, "Don't act like everyone loved my father. He was assassinated." A 1967 poll reflected that he was one of the most hated men in America. Most hated. Many who quote him now and evoke him to deter justice today would likely hate and may already hate the authentic King. And it reminded me, there's a Lecrae song called Facts. This came out like
so good
5 years ago or whatever.
So good, yeah.
And he has a line in there where he even says, let me see, I just had it up earlier today. One second.
Pray, you should follow in the step of King. I said you forgotten how they shot him in the street.
Exactly.
Bars.
And so when I see people say that, it's like they have this like safe vision of Martin Luther King, right? Like, oh, well, he did these marches and he sat in diners, and then like he made this big speech and it ended racism, and that's like their view. And they don't realize like they had dogs sicked on them while they were walking in the street,
and then fire hoses too,
and then fire hoses.
Pressure
and so
of water, dude.
The reason the Watts riots happened is because the peaceful marches weren't working. Right? And you have all this anger, and I'm not saying it's right to loot and stuff like that, but you have to listen and understand that there are people that are hurting, and they have to let it out.
And that's what I was telling someone today. I was saying, because they were talking about the looting and the rioting, and I was like, obviously you don't want to justify it, but you want to understand what would lead to that. And I was saying was that a lot of times, I mean, even when you look at I mentioned this last night in the talk, Martin Luther King's letter to from Birmingham jail, which I think was his best writing, where he said an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, was written in response to 8 white Christians that were advocating a more moderate approach, saying he was too radical. And so I guess in today's thing, I think that the indignation is righteous, but there's either going to be a constructive outlet or a destructive outlet. And the thing is that when you've done all the constructive outlets and tried them all and they're still failing, I feel like the only thing where the people now, not the looting people, I think are people trying to capitalize, but I think a lot of times that destructive outlet, they're like, what do we have to do to get attention to this? Like, no justice, no peace. Proverbs says that when the righteous rule, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people groan.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of this, I'm not justifying it, but understanding what's led to it. And like I said, if it's the righteous ruling, you know what I mean, if justice is being done, you know what I mean, this stuff wouldn't happen. At least I don't think it would happen as much, but I don't know, man.
I tried to tell somebody this earlier too, man. I was like, again, I've been trying to be very intentional about having conversations with my white brothers and sisters who oppose the view of what I'm saying, right? Like, or how when they're just like, look, all cops are not bad, we understand this cop sucks. What he did was wrong, but all cops are not bad. That's why I asked D Faith earlier. I'm like, does that bother you? Because I know it does. I've seen it. I've seen how anytime if that is my posture, it's going to hurt my black friend. Like 9 times out of 10, my black African American brother is going to be like, bro, you can't say that right now. And I have to understand where that's at, right? Like, and so I don't know, man.
Can we go farther into that?
Yeah, go for sure. Do it. Let's go.
Well, no, I mean, it's just, again, I'm just trying to figure out why it's kind of weird. I'm trying to figure out why people are taking offense when somebody says it's not all cops during the time. It's not every single cop is like that. I mean, even a dude had clinged onto the side of a police car, and the cop sped off because he was, I think, trying to get inside. And when he fell on the pavement, a cop was trying to pull over and get out and help him. But then the people that were blocking off the freeway ran the other cop out. So then that man couldn't get attention. So it's just more or less, I feel like it can also bring downfall too, to a certain degree, by not saying, it's not all cops.
I think, and I hear you, man. I think that's valuable because, and I think part of it is I think when people are lamenting injustice and then the timing of everything of defending all cops' honor, you know what I mean? I think that can kind of hit wrong when it was a member of law enforcement. Now, I agree, you know, but when it's like when people are lamenting like injustice, and then I can understand the want to defend, and it's like, you know, and it's almost like, well, you know, hey man, well at least we don't want to do that, and it's kind of like, I agree it's not all cops, but then I also think, like I said, remember how I said that individualist mindset, where it is true that it was the individuals, but it's in the broader context of like a systemic injustice of what's just been a troublesome relationship between law enforcement in general and black people in general.
If you guys can do this, all right, if you guys can pull your streams back up real quick, and I'm about to show a clip that I want you guys to watch that I heard and listened to before I hopped on here. And I just want to like this will, I think, keep the conversation going, but it'll like go off of what we're talking about of like, why does this hurt? Why can't we say all cops are, you know, same thing with like all lives matter, like blah blah blah, or like exactly. Or when people say like, you know, we understand this cop was bad, but not all cops are bad though, like da 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 da, right? Like it goes into answering, I think, that, and it's from a biblical perspective to some degree. But so if you're not a Christian, this may or may not hit all the way for you, but I think it has a very good, I think it should hit everywhere across the board, in my opinion. I don't think that it's not like the dude's quoting scripture or anything, but he is a pastor and he is saying some stuff, and I just want y'all to hear it because I think it's very timely in the conversation right now. So I'm gonna pull that up and we're gonna watch this clip, and then we can pop back in and get it in. All right, so check this clip out. This is crazy thing about this guy is I knew him before he is who he is, that y'all may know him, right? Like I knew of Carl Lentz before he was big time Carl Lentz. I met Carl Lentz in Virginia Beach with my wife way back in the day when he was just in front of a couple hundred students that were college students. And God has since then used him, and dude's been all over, and now is leading one of the biggest churches in New York. For the most part, I agree with a lot of the dude's stances on a lot of things, and I think he's reaching a lot of people. If you look at like Justin Bieber right now, where that dude is at and where he was 10 years ago is completely night and day thanks to this guy right here. It's like God used this dude to reach people like that and other people, celebrities that are in athletes, all that kind of stuff that I would never be able to reach. So we need people like Carl Lentz to be infiltrating, I believe.
That middle ground.
Yeah, you got to have people in that middle ground. You got to have people that can reach into just that type of stardom or fandom, or people that, I mean, we'll never be able to reach because of our status. I'm not a celebrity, right? Like, and I don't have access to that. But because Carl Lentz has been invited into circle groups and been in those realms, he has that. So I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna play this clip, but I just wanted kind of, for anybody who doesn't know who the heck this is, I kind of wanted to give you a little backdrop story on who this person is and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's check this out. Listen to this clip. Make sure my volume stuff is up. All right, here we go.
Last week, which was a very mild statement, because I believe we want to agree with God. We want to be on God's side. My statement was this: for me, I believe that Black lives matter. That's what I said. Anybody with a functioning brain understands that all lives matter. Anybody. But right now, there is a portion of our community that is frustrated, and they are suffering, and they are hurting. So as an empathetic Christian, I'm going to go and say, I agree with the statement, Black lives do matter.
So good, man.
But I was glad some people disagreed with me, because I kept saying, do Black lives matter, yes or no?
Come on, man.
But. I'm like, there is no but. We disagree. Those are the same type of people that would have interrupted Jesus during the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus would have been like, blessed are the poor. No, Jesus, blessed are all people.
Come on, man. Freaking go. Talking that talk right now. Talking that talk.
Highlighting one issue disparage another. Are we not secure enough to be able to sit here and go issue by issue and just talk about one without disparaging another? Of course, all lives matter, but it's okay to say Black lives matter. What's wrong with you?
Freaking A,
This is not rocket science.
Come on now, man.
All lives matter. No kidding. That's why we're saying Black lives matter, because until all lives matter equally, we need to focus on this. I said a statement
So
last
good, bro. So freaking good. Like that jump right there. I saw that literally before I hopped in on this stream. I was like, I want to be able to share this, bro. I want to be able to share this. Yes, bro. That dude is spitting. That dude's spitting.
What's this SoundCloud?
What is this?
You guys are welcome. You guys are welcome.
So good. Kimbo, yo. Oh my god. Hey man, get that man a beat. Oh my goodness, bro.
That's the more truth in that minute and 24 seconds than a lot of people have tried to say for the longest.
Exactly.
And I like how you can compare it to actually like the Bible, because again, like I'm gonna go back to Daryl Davis. Like a lot of racist people, especially in the Ku Klux Klan and stuff, they say that their organization is a Christian organization, right? They're built off of God and the belief of the Christian values, you know. And see, like just how he was able to disprove it, like right then and there, like, you know.
So good, man. And like I said, man, I've met this dude, and I've listened to. I was like, me and my wife would drive 45 minutes, man, to go listen to him speak back in the day at Virginia Beach, like all the time, because it was like this type of preaching, and I was like, it was like amazing, man. I was like, oh my god, like never in my life. So you're
from Virginia?
No, I'm actually from North Carolina, but I would drive across the border to go listen to dude preach, like, and it was just yeah, man, and but he's a dope dude, man. He's a real one, and but yeah, so like I heard that though, and it goes fall in line with the fits the whole same principle of like, well, look, man, what happened here is bad, but look, not all cops are bad. We're not saying that. We're not saying that all cops are not bad. Everybody, like, of course, anybody with a logical thinking brain knows that not all cops are bad. But what we're saying is right now, this cop was bad, and it happened to a black man again. You know what I'm saying? Hey, BJ, man, let's go. Thank you for that, bro. He just gave Akimbo a gifted sub. Come on, man. Let's go.
Hey, thank you.
That's dope. That's dope.
On that note, just watching that video there, it puts into perspective the way I was saying it, as far as saying that it's relevant to say at this point. And the only reason I said that was out of fear, and I'll tell you why. I am a former military person. There is a bond that I have with those military members, knowing that we would have put our lives on the line for each other, because I trust the person to my left and to my right. I would do anything for them.
Yeah.
I'm going to defend them till the day I die.
Thank you for your service.
Appreciate it, but thank those that are not home with their families. They earned it. I'm sitting here home talking on Discord and Twitch with you guys. It's not really something that I've always had a problem with being thanked for it because of that. I never really made that sacrifice. They have. So appreciate it. Give it to somebody who deserves it. Somebody who's spent time away from
you deserve it too, man. You deserve it too. Don't discredit yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
Could I ask what branch you were in?
Army National Guard.
Dope, man. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for real. Thank you for your service, man. For real. Like you didn't have to, but you chose to, because at the end of the day, you know daggone good and well, if they were to hit the phone and been like, hey, we need you to do this, you could have been that guy out there sacrificing in a way that you were one phone call away. None of us were one phone call away. You were. That's not us. That's you.
It happens, but for me, I think that should be part of you do to give back to your.
Right.
So if you have a hurricane coming through and your neighbor's power is out, but you have a working generator. My house is open. You, your kids, your dog, whatever, are welcome to stay in my home to have power. That's how it should be, in my opinion. So for me putting that uniform on, that's me saying thank you to my community that I'm willing to do for them, in the hopes that in the event something does happen and I can't do it, they provide for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, beside the point, it's kind of going back to it. The video there shows that it can almost sound like it's disparaging the whole issue of saying there's a problem. I get that, and I realized that I was wrong in that aspect. Kind of give you an idea of my perspective as to why I said that is because of the fact that my fear is, say for example, this one cop did this thing, these 4 cops did this thing. In anger, people are going to look to all cops, no matter who they are. Even if it's somebody trying to help them, it's all cops. Because anger will do that to you. Anger will blind you. Fear will blind you. Hurt will blind you. And my fear is my buddy who's a cop in New York who has to go and help protect people because they're setting stuff on fire and all this stuff is going to get pulled in, and I got to get a phone call saying my buddy died because he was defending the public.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to defend each other. Cops are going to defend each other because they know in the end, the other person wearing that uniform is going to defend them and give their lives for that person. So they're going to defend each other, right? And there's a brotherhood that's there that not many people get to experience because you're not put in a situation where your life is on the line.
Well, the funny thing is, so, I would challenge that with the idea of like, and I'm not black, so I don't know, but what I would venture to say is, you can quit your job as a police officer though, and you can leave your badge and you're not a threat anymore per se as much as you are with the badge, right? Like, because people look at a badge and instantly put you in this box. But just the same token, but worse, right, is that I'm born into that. I'm born into my badge is permanent. I can't take mine off. It's always there. When I wake up, it's there. If I walk out to check my mail, it's there. When I walk out to get some milk, it's there. Right? Like, I can't escape my badge that I wear. You could easily, if you don't want to do this anymore and you're tired of it, you can literally go hang that hat up and hang your jersey up and be like, I'm out. I'm done. I don't want to risk my life anymore. But, you know, your brotherly bond, that's that brotherly bond, right? Or that bond that happens. That's what we're seeing in the black community is like, we're used to fighting with, like, we fight with each other, but man, like we fight for each other, right? Like, they do that. And that's why they have that bond, right? Is because they're used to,
and
like,
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? So I mean, that's me. That's looking from the outside in. I'm not black, so I don't know, but I'm looking from.
Well said.
Right, and
you know what I mean?
That's kind of the point I was trying to make, is that people are going to try to stick together. People are going to try to defend each other. So, say for example, there's a protest and one person gets into a disagreement with a cop. Go and attack that cop. That cop's going to come back at you. They're going to try to defend themselves. Their buddies are going to come in. Then your buddies are going to come in, and then it's going to be a bigger problem and escalate to an issue to the point where actual physical safety is a problem.
Yeah.
We don't want to end up causing another situation where another life gets to needlessly be lost, prove a point. There's no reason that we should ever have to lose lives to prove a point, especially with the whole thing at the beginning. That man should have never lost his life. Bring awareness to this issue. Yeah. None of them should have.
I just want to speak to that a little bit, though. So one thing, when we talk about these issues of race and such, is one of the issues is power, right? And in this situation, if you look at what happened to George Floyd, that dude had no power. He had two people on his body. The dude's knee is on his neck. If you read the complaint when they arrested the officer finally yesterday, thank God, in the complaint, it says at 25 minutes in the body cam footage they had, they notice he's not moving and he's not breathing. And they check for a pulse and they can't find one. And do you think they got up and started doing CPR? Nope. They just stayed on his neck for an extra 2 minutes until the ambulance got there. And that's with a crowd. A nurse in the crowd is saying, please, I'm a nurse. Let me check on him. He's not breathing. He's not moving. Right? And these aren't like ignorant people. These are cops. They know what a blood choke is. They know what was happening. And so part of the problem here is, if you're a black man in this situation, or Latino in another situation, or whatever the case may be, unarmed, it's 4-on-1. They've got guns. They've got cuffs. Right? He can't breathe. Like,
they got a badge.
This is an issue where no one is saying cops' lives don't matter, but when you start like, oh, well, this is equal. It's not equal is the problem. It's not equal. Like Justin said, like, I'm a white guy. I'm Catholic. I've run into anti-Catholic stuff, right? Does that compare? No, because unless I open my mouth, no one knows. I can go to the grocery store and no one's going to be like, hey, that Catholic over there, let's get it. No one's gonna do that, right? I can go to the grocery store, buy some milk, head out, I'm fine. But if you're being targeted because of your skin color or something like that, you can't take that off. Yeah. And so and like Justin said, if you've got a badge, like, hey, when you go home from work, you put your uniform away. And even then, you've still got a gun. And people will still recognize you as a cop. So if you call the cops, they've got your back immediately. right? If George Floyd, what's the name?
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor was the other one, or that poor woman that was killed. She was like babysitting her nephew, and they're playing video games.
Oh, yeah,
and the cop like
that
shot
was
into
over
her
here.
house and killed her.
You talking about the one in Louisville, or no?
No, in Texas. I remember
There's one in
yeah,
Texas.
she got shot through the window. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, and she's like,
It's sad that we have to bring up so many different places and
Yeah, but
example.
that's
Oh,
my
this place.
point.
No, yeah, but that, yeah. Mhm.
But that's my point. Is they looked inside that house and they saw a black woman, and they immediately assumed criminal. They didn't know that it was her house. They didn't even check. And the fact is, a neighbor was calling the cops because her door was open. She didn't close it all the way, and they were worried that she was being robbed. But they don't check because they're like, "Oh, it's a black person, bam." And so this is kind of that issue.
So
where we gotta listen. We have to you can't just say, "Oh, this matters too, that matters too." It's like, well, right now, what's the metaphor's being thrown around? The house on fire, right?
Right.
Yeah, all the houses matter, but this one's burning.
Right.
Let's put out this fire.
I don't mean to, no, you're good. You're good. Like, I think that's all facts, man. Like, I'm not. Yeah, that's good, man. I think too. Like, one of the responses that I've seen to what we're talking about right now, not just what you're saying, but like what we're all kind of talking about and saying right now, is that, well, this happened, but if we're going to talk about injustice happening, well, then it needs to be all across the board. What about this white guy who was killed by a black cop, or two white cops, or a bunch of white cops killed this white guy who, and stood on his neck and blah, 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 and did all this other mess, and then like beat this other kid down and shot this guy to a pulp and whatever. And I told him, I was like, and he's like, and most of the conversations when they bring that up is that it's a media agenda, right? Like the agenda of the media is to do this. I was like, let's play that as let's take that and say, okay, let's play that game. And this is a media completed agenda. I'm not saying the media doesn't have an agenda in this, because they do. I don't think, but I don't think all of it is an agenda. I think this is just, again, I'm gonna get to it. All right, so check this out. If there is a media agenda, and we want to talk about like, well, you're biting into what the media has to say. You're just, whatever, to the race bait, the blah, blah, blah. You're just falling for the okey doke. All right, well, if that's the case, and people are like, oh, well, it's voting season. Of course, all this stuff's happening. Everything's happening now. Voting season's popping off, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's run with that, because if that's the case, where you would think population percentage wise, right? Like if they're 60% of the population in America is white, 14 to 15% of it is African American. Almost 30% of the police killings are on black people. That's more than double their own population's percentage. That's crazy. Now, if that is true, and media is employing stuff, the government is doing this is a whole tweak from the system to try to race bait you and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, where are those videos? I'm looking in the camera and I'm asking anyone watching this, because this is going to go up on YouTube too. I'm going to put this on YouTube. Listen, show me, where are these other videos? Because they have to be out there. I'm not saying that they don't exist, because I'm sure we could dig them up. I'm sure they're there. But the thing is they're not popping up on anybody's timeline. They're not popping up like that. And here's my reasoning, or my opinion and my thought behind why I don't believe they're popping up like that is two reasons. One, my white brothers and sisters, when they watch those videos, they're not moved and put into pain or fear when they watch those videos. It doesn't move them enough to do anything about it. Right? Now, on the other side of it, the reason why this is happening to a black man with a white officer, in my view, is that this is something that's been talked about forever, before cell phones happened, that this was something that people were experiencing. And now that we're finally seeing it, black people are like, look, we're trying to speak up and tell you, like, look, see, this stuff still happens. And we are over here in our comfortableness. Most of us, not everybody, most of us are chilling comfortable. doing what we do, not worried about cops, not worried about those things. We never really have been. And then here comes this, and now you're telling me to worry about cops when my whole life has been preached at to not worry about cops.
Yeah.
But the black community is always preached to each other and said to even us, like, yo, I don't trust a cop. And we're over here like, why not? Cops are cool.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I heard that before cell phones were even in my hand.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And now that we're hearing it and we're faced with some stuff, now we want to, again, sweep it under the rug. We don't want to talk about it. And it's just repetitive, man. And I think what we're seeing is, I brought this example. This is my metaphor I probably will forever use. And then I asked D Faith, I don't know if you're still in here or not, but I talked to
yes, sir.
Okay, where I talked to CJ in our chat, and I was asking him for accuracy. I was like, just because I was trying to explain this to my white friends, man. And the best example I could come up with was like, what is the scariest movie you've ever seen? And you know, people say different movies, and I was like, all right, let's just talk about clowns. All right, let's just make up this, you know, scenario, right? This story of we're driving around, we're doing what we do, and we got a person in the back. They see a clown and they freak the heck out. We're going to the circus, and they're like, bro, I just don't want to see no clowns tonight. Why? Because clowns be freaking me the heck out, man. Da 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 da. And it's just like, bro, it's a clown. Chill. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be all right. But in that person's mind, they're like, yo, like, I've seen the movie It, bro. Like, it freaked me out. And here's where I'm going with this, right? You're probably like, where's he going with this? What I'm saying is the reason why most people can't understand the fear behind what people are seeing out of these videos is that they all too well resemble what they've seen in a real life documentary. This is a real life play that they've already seen play out. They've seen this stuff happen. They've told us about it, but we've all been like, bro, it's just this. Bro, it's just that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't treat it like that, because that's what we're doing. We're treating it like it's a, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's not fair. Because and check this out. It's not fair because we haven't watched the movie yet. The only way you can get scared of clowns is if you go watch that same movie that they watched that made them scared. We're walking around because we haven't gone through the movie yet. And that's why we can't understand it, bro. We just can't make sense of it because we haven't gone through that experience of watching that film ourselves. And then, you know what I mean?
And
you know, it's good. You can go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I think part of it, because some of what came up last night and even today when I was talking with the friends about it and all that, was like you said, the whole why don't we hear, where's the outrage when white people die in these situations? And I said part of it, and like I said, part of it I think is that kind of individualism mindset where if you're just interpreting an event in a vacuum, then obviously, and I was saying, any loss of life that's unjustified is equally aberrant, especially in the eyes of God. You know what I mean? So I was saying that. But I said the thing that informs this is, like I said, these events don't take place in vacuums. There's a bigger historical context. And so when you place something in the context of a continued deprivation of justice when it comes to a certain people, these events take on a new light. And if you want to say have more of a weightiness to them, not saying more of a moral significance, but more of a weightiness to them, that's what causes a lot more of the outrage, because it's the perpetuation of this thing that's been going on for so long, as opposed to something that just interpreted in a vacuum. So that's, I think that's part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What I was gonna say was also why people are now starting to like realize what was going on is, especially like with my generation, I'm 16. We've never really seen police brutality like that, like actually like dude's neck or knees in his neck, and he's screaming, "Yo, stop!" You know, we've seen footage like with Rodney King, and you know, we've seen and all heard about Martin Luther King, but we've never actually full-fledged seen it.
Correct.
And now that we're seeing it, and not just necessarily hearing, well, you know, this happened in history, and then, you know, the stuff in Ferguson, you know, we're actually seeing it. It was fully recorded from start to finish. Everything was caught. You know,
I mean, that's what happens when you put security cameras in the palms of every individual in America. Back in the day, the only cameras that were around to catch you on something was if they landed on the side of a business, a store that could afford to put them up. You know what I mean? And other than that, we didn't have no footage. Or the local news, I'd have to tune in and watch the local news. And most of the time, majority of those people that were on the local news were black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's, again, like it's showing what the news wants to cover. Like, was there any white people who did any harm today? Or did no white people do anything bad today on the news to get on the news? Because that's weird. There should have been some white people ask the news stations, like, when people want to be like, where's the white, like, I mean, I don't know, man, like, it's like,
not only that, but there's like places you can go, especially when it comes to shootings. Like, if you want answers, there's plenty of like YouTube channels and stuff. But not only that, but you can actually go and email police departments and be like, okay, yeah, can I get the body footage or body camera footage and also a press release saying what happened? Like, you can do that. There's a YouTuber named Donut Operator. He'll do that for each shooting that he can actually recover. You know, he'll pretty much go back into, let's say, the victim's Facebook and stuff, see what they were like. If they were a good guy, like even with George Floyd, like he was even like, this is just bad policing. There's no way around it. This dude murdered this man. I can't explain it.
Facts.
You know, but in other cases, he's like, okay, yeah, here's the body footage. Here's the press release from the police department. And then like, he's able to break it down. And sometimes that can be, you know, the difference.
Yeah.
Because sometimes mainstream media like CNN, Fox News, all that, they're not really going to tell you what all actually happened. They're going to give you a snippet of what you know they want to add in.
That's good, man.
Sometimes you have to take it upon yourself to find the information that you're looking for.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, man, before we close this thing out, man, is there any final words that y'all want to say before I make my final statements on some of this stuff, man? Because I want to continue this conversation. I think this type of talk, though, needs to not just happen, obviously, when stuff happens. Like, it has to continue, and it has to, like I said earlier, man, like continue in our homes and continue with our own circles of influence, the people that we're around, the people that we know, your platforms, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm gonna let y'all take the board for a second if anybody wants to share some final thoughts of, you know, because I am gonna put this on YouTube, and I have a YouTube channel, all that stuff. So I try to put, like, if I can keep my Power Hour conversations within a certain time frame, I'd like to try to put them up, because that's what my channel. This is what, like, the embodiment of why I started this channel was like, cool, I play video games, I do all that, but really this is the heartbeat behind all of it, man, because this is really what matters, man. The games are cool, they're all fun, but that's the connecting point, so I can reach people, man, with truth, you know what I mean, and love, man. That's it.
I feel like without the George Floyd thing, then this conversation wouldn't happen, because you know,
sucks.
It's really sad, because again, like you were saying, like people just sweep it under the rug. That was easy to do when it wasn't like right in front of you. When there is something directly in front of you that you can see, you can't just sweep it under the rug and be like, nah, it's not that big of a deal. It's whatever. Like, let me put that behind me. Let's put that under the rug. We're not just going to talk about it. It happened like this so far back, or that's not really what happened. At this point, you can't do it. You know, George Floyd, him passing away, that was a bad thing, but at the same time, it also brought about good conversations that needed to be had, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll even go as far as to say his sacrifice is causing these conversations to happen.
Yeah, man.
For, you know, people in higher places, like in Congress and in the presidential office, they're even probably looking at it a little bit different and being like, all right, maybe.
Hopefully.
You know,
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
Yeah.
I will say, Lindsey Graham did say, what was it yesterday? He said, oh, imagine how often this is happening without cell phones, right? And if Lindsey Graham, of all people, Senator Lindsey Graham, is saying that, maybe, just maybe, one or two others will figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, man, this has been really encouraging, especially, like I said, after having gotten off that toxic conversation, you know what I mean, with my cousin. And just, I feel like this was the spirit, you know, one of the people in here was the one who sent it to me.
I'm about to say, who invited you, bro? That's dope.
It's my bad.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Hold up, what happened?
No, it was me. It was me.
Oh, you invited? Hey, that's dope, man. That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, BJ.
And
that's
so
sick.
I was like, you know, because he was, you know, saying stuff like, man, why are you even trying to convince white people about this justice stuff? Like, what purpose does it serve? Like, why are you? And I was kind of like, man, you know, I think, like I said, I feel like it's a knowledge thing sometimes. I'm not saying all the time. Sometimes there's a willful. But I was like, man, just hearing this and hearing, you know, that there are people that do care. You know, and I knew this, you know what I mean? Because I know I'm friends with people that care. But it's just, you know, it's just really encouraging. I felt like my spirit really needed this.
Bro.
So I appreciate what you're doing, man. It's like,
amen, man.
I needed this.
Absolutely, bro. I'm glad that you're here, man. Your voice, bro, like means the world, man. Like you like, that's the thing, bro. Like I get pumped up when I hear people say like stuff what you just said, man, because it makes me know that I am, bro, this is what I did. Yeah, like this is what I wanted to do. Like it's like, yo, like from the beginning, it's all, if you ask my wife, man, I could pull her in here and she would tell you, like, my aim with all of this has been to seek out to, like, the go power up, whatever, is literally just, it's a catchy, fun way to say the Great Commission. All right, as a Christian, right? Like to encourage you to get powered up. I want to see you powered up. I want to see you at the fullest of your potential. And I know who and where you can get that from. I want to point you to that. But at the same time, I also want to see you as you power yourself up and get empowered and encouraged and strengthened in here, that we use these chats to power up and get boosted up, and then go out, man. Go out and make a difference. Go. That's what it's about, man. Is to go out, make a difference in your neck of the woods, your neighborhoods, your circle of influences, man, like, yo, cool Blaze, when you're in here and you say that, man, like, I just got off some crazy conversations and stuff and this was refreshing and blah blah blah, like, good, man, like, thank you, man, for bringing your voice here and I want this to be a place where people can vent, get off what they need to say, let them do what they need to do, but then, like, we just all talk about it and try to work through it together as a family, as a conversation. Like, that's what this is about. And
as a community,
yeah, man, a community, man, and just and come back later and be like, yo, like, I talked this week about this, and I talked this week about this with somebody else, and, like, man, exactly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see that fruit happen, because that means what we're doing in here is doing something out there. And if that's happening, I don't care, like, how many subscribers I get, like, I don't care, like, how many video games we play. I could talk like this all day and be happy, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's doing it's what matters, man. This is what freaking matters, bro. Like, at the end of the day, a video game ain't gonna save you. Getting all achievements in your game, like being the best at Call of Duty, and in 5 years nobody will even remember. Not even 5 years. The next game that drops, nobody will remember. It doesn't, you know what I mean? So it's like, this is the,
you got to be more impactful.
Yeah, man. So, man, like, keep going, man. I'm sorry. I just get excited when I hear people say, like, yo, like,
nah, you good. I thought it was so ironic, man, because you were like, I'm wanting to educate people. I asked my cousin, I'm like, why are you doing all this pro-black stuff? He's like, I want to tell black people. So I was like, so you want to educate people to fix the problem? You just talking to black and I'm talking to white. He's like, well, and I'm like, bro, like, we're, you know what I'm saying? So I see you, and that's what you're like, bro. Education and, you know, having these conversations are really just a lot of the first stepping stones to it, man. And then it's what we do with it afterwards. So I appreciate it.
I think a lot of this stuff here is perfect. It's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
This is a conversation that we discussed, because I'll give you an example. First, I want to apologize, saying not all police are bad. My thought process was rooted in good thoughts behind it, to basically say, you know, don't take out your frustrations on the wrong people. The way it comes out is I'm diminishing your problem.
So good.
That's not the way it's supposed to be. There's no reason your issue, the issue, because this is an us problem.
Yeah.
The issue needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And the way I was stating it before, albeit with good intentions, be perceived as if I was diminishing diminishing the issue. Excuse me. So, bro, just in this conversation alone, that's where I learned. Without these conversations, you don't learn. You stay stuck in your ways.
Yep.
Come on, man.
So good.
That's
bro.
dope. I definitely appreciate that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never even seen that. Honestly.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
I haven't seen that either, bro. Somebody go from like, yo, my bad, like, I was wrong. I was wrong, like, bro. That's like, huge, man. Like, that you took the humility pill and humbled, because you didn't have to. You could have just been like, I mean what I say. I'm staying by it. I was in the military. My brotherhood bond is strong. Y'all weren't in the military. Screw you. Like, if you think different, like, You could have kept that
Yeah.
whole energy. But man, like, yeah, Juan, I love you, man. I love you, Juan. You good?
I
you
feel like
good.
if more
Yeah.
conversation like this was had, and especially like high schools and stuff, then maybe more effective communication could happen.
Let's
Because a
go.
lot of time, especially when it comes to debating in, let's say, like a high school setting, people tend to get emotional and agitated, you know.
That's good, yeah.
And if more calm conversation like this, when it can just be an exchange of thoughts, ideas, and whatever, maybe it could be more effective.
It's good. Yeah, man.
And that can go down a whole other rabbit hole with teachers and excuse me again, and mentors in people's lives.
Yep.
Just don't get paid
Yeah.
nearly enough. And with all this quarantine stuff, parents having to become the teachers, people realize that now more than ever.
It's
I'm not
good.
going to open up a whole can of worms with that stuff.
Nah.
But that's another thing. So when we don't empower and teach the youth to, look, this is the way it was, this is the way it is, ideally this is the way it should be, and then empower them to go out and search what was right and wrong based on their experiences and their thoughts, give them guidance and say, look, this is what I think is right and wrong. This is what I see that's wrong with what's currently going on. This is how I would think maybe I'd change it. They will go and they will make the change for you.
Yeah.
They will take that information, they will run with it, they will look for knowledge and make up their decisions on their own based on the guidance that you give them. If you give them incorrect guidance and put them in a situation where it's like, no, this is right, this is everything, this is this, they're never going to learn anything that new. They're never going to do anything different. They're going to stay stuck in the same thing, and we're going to be back to this where another poor individual has to lose their life. I use the term individual. In this instance here, we're talking about a black person, but I say individual, period. Nobody should ever have to lose their life to police brutality at all. The major focus of the conversation is a black person lost his life extremely unnecessarily. That shouldn't have to happen to have these conversations. So we need to start having the conversations now.
Yeah, that's
it's just kind of sad, yo. That dude should have lost his job a long time ago, if we're being honest. That police officer.
Yeah,
nobody wants to go. Nobody wants to put that forward because you have to trust the person next to you. If the person's gonna rat you out because you think differently or whatever the case is, there's not gonna be any trust, and things fall apart at that point. The mindset there is, I'm gonna just kind of shovel him along or shovel her along and move him over, or send him to another precinct or something. Not my problem anymore.
Yep.
Rather than, you know what, I'm gonna suck it up. I'm gonna take the fight to him and say, you're not a good cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
That was a
And
big
bro,
problem with police departments.
Yeah, this is really big what you did, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, by being humble and being able to recognize, all right, there was an error in how I may have approached something. Like, that's one of the biggest things that needs to happen.
Yes, man.
Period.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Just with people, like, that's just one of the biggest things that needs to happen, man. And then people can hold people accountable, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't, like, my plea is that we would hold people that are supposed to be leading us, serving us, accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And that, that we would practice and execute love. You know what I'm saying? On both sides.
Yeah, man.
That we would execute love, that we would practice that. You know what I mean? That we would make that an action word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
We wouldn't just, you know what I mean? But that would be my plea, man. That's the thing that's on my heart, man. That people would recognize and be sensitive to the issues that's going on. You know what I'm saying? And actually stand up and be bold enough to hold people accountable. You know what I mean? Regardless of if it may make you uncomfortable.
Being sensitive may mean doing what Juan just did. Right? Like, being sensitive to something means to be like, I may have to humble myself and lay down something that, hey man, like, I see something that is hindering a healing moment. I know that I meant well by this, but it's not what's helping, and it's not what's needed. So let me set what I think is needed for what is the betterment of my brother or sister next to me, right? Like, if this is the stumbling block for you, like, if we want to keep it biblical, right? Like, even biblically talking, we're talking where the Bible says, like, if what I do is making a brother or sister stumble, then I should cut that. Like, I need to stop doing that, right? Like, I need to let that go. Around, like, if I'm around my brothers and sisters and they struggle, if D Fake struggles with alcohol, he was a former alcoholic, and I'm jumping up and we're going to Applebee's and I'm down in a couple, you know, I drank a beer or I had some wine or I had this. He's gonna be like, bro, can you please not drink around me? And if the next time we meet out again and I drink around him again, like, what? I'm not respecting my brother right now. He needs, I know I have the right to drink. I can drink if I want, but it's not about me now. It's about being what's best for my brother.
Exactly.
And my brother needs me to put down my drink so he can live a pure and clean life.
Exactly.
And so he don't end up killing himself because he struggles with alcohol. I don't. And that's what we're talking about, man. Like, if me,
you gotta understand.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And even if, you know what I'm saying, like, even if, like, me personality wise, I'm a natural, like, person that likes to debate, prove my point, things like that. So I can't fault a person or white people, you know what I'm saying, that may just be, you know, they might have strong views and they might be passionate. They might like to, you know, prove their point or, you know, prove why they believe what they believe. You know what I'm saying? But even being married has taught me.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that, bro.
Has taught me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's better to restrain, even though you might feel like you have a point to make. You know what I mean? You even to restrain that for the peace. You know what I mean? For the appropriate time. Timing is everything. You know what I'm saying? Some things don't need to be said at that time.
Yeah, man.
Even though you can say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Timing, man. Timing is critical. Fact.
Going along that whole marriage theme, didn't realize how proud of a person I was until I got married.
Facts, man.
No, I say that laughing and joking around, but in all seriousness. So I was set in my ways. You know, I had everything has its place. Everything, you know, can be messy in its place. It's just the way I am. I'm very logical. When I met my wife, she was the exact opposite of who I am. She's the artist. She's the color to my black and white. And speaking with her, a lot of the stuff that I found, especially when we have problems, is lack of communication. Mostly on my part. She over communicates, whereas I don't communicate at all.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the things that I have learned on that is swallow your pride. Listen, put yourself in that person's shoes, then figure out a compromise or something where both happy, or you admit you're wrong, make the adjustments, and then you both end up happy in the long run.
Yep.
That's why these conversations are necessary, because you need to look at what you're looking at, what I'm looking at, and then figure out how we can come to a mutual agreement on it. Maybe we can mutually disagree. We've exchanged those ideas and thoughts. We can come to a point like what happened earlier where I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm going to adjust the way I speak about this moving forward. So now I can correct what I'm doing that can be perceived incorrectly regardless of intention.
So dope, man. So good, bro. I don't know if anybody else want to say anything else, because I'm about to probably close this thing. I'll get ready to, we're gonna fire up some games or something. Probably if anybody wants to rock some Call of Duty or something, I don't know, we're gonna play something. Yo, everybody in here, man, I appreciate y'all greatly, man. Like, it's been so good to have so many new people, so many new voices, a lot of new and I hope that you guys stay connected. I hope that y'all don't just, you know, show up right now and then dip out and then never, you know what I mean? Like, bro, stay here, man. Like, be in on this stuff, man, because it is literally just, we have conversations like this even while we play games. Sometimes we continue the conversations in some ways and facets. And so, like, and if anybody ever is in chat during the week, like, you don't have to wait for the power hour to talk about stuff. Like, people can be in chat and be like, yo, like, I'm just going through some stuff, and then we just talk about it, man, and we just wrestle through that together, man. And I think that's the beautiful thing, man, like, about this, man. And what I want to use this, continue to use this platform for, is for that. And before we get out, I'm gonna show this last little video clip, and then I'm gonna wrap it up, and then we'll throw on some games or whatever, man, and just crush the rest of the night and have some fun while, you know, just kind of hanging out, man, and discussing whatever topics and whatever things y'all want to talk about. So, again, anything else? Anybody else want to chime in? Last words?
I'm good over here, man.
We good. Just thank you, man. Like I said, I needed this, bro.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for joining and just having the discussion. Even the people in chat, taking the time out of their night to sit there and talk about an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the best dialogue, is when people
exactly
talking
the
about
dialogue. It was a dialogue. It wasn't arguing. It wasn't me versus you. This is us talking about this.
It's good.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Real people having real conversations, man. That's what it's about, man. Like, just trying.
Is that your quote for Power Hour? Because that's what it should be.
It's pretty much. I mean, it's,
yeah, that should be the motto. That should
real
be the
people
motto.
having real conversations, man. That's it. Well, if it isn't, I'll find a way to tie it in somehow.
Yeah.
So.
Start a podcast.
I mean, that's pretty, but that's pretty much
kidding.
what this is. Like, that's, and funny thing is that's what I try to tell people when I invite them into this. I'm like, this is a very podcasty vibe. Like, I don't want it to be just me, my microphone, and looking at chat on a screen like most other Twitch streamers and people do. I want to invite people to get in on the call. Like, if this was a radio show and I was at a radio station and I was the guy on the radio talking, you could call in and you could just share. But it's not down to a time limit per se. It's more or less being like, yo, I want to talk and I want to jump in on this. And like, if this is a room, this is a virtual room and you're sitting at the table with me. That's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
I mean, and that's what I really appreciated, you know, like I'm pretty much new to the Twitch chat and everything. Like, I just got in here yesterday.
That's dope.
And when you told me about, you know, the Power Hour being tomorrow, I was like, all right, yeah, I'll tune in, I'll see what's going on. And then I tried to figure out how I could get it, and it was just like, oh yeah, just go to the general of the Discord. You know, I thought I was gonna have to ask you permission to get into a locked, you know, voice chat. And then even then I could have been denied. And, you know, I really appreciate the fact that it's just simple. Join the Discord, go in the general, and let's have a chat.
So easy.
You know?
Yep. Wow, Mike Dex thought, he said, oh, I felt those shots, those other Twitch streamers. Wow, that's not what I was meaning, bro. That's not what I was meaning, man. I was saying other Twitch streamers who were...
take your Pokemon and go somewhere else.
Nah, heck nah. Never that, man. It's never that. You know I love you, Mike. Get the heck out of here, man. I'm talking about other Twitch streamers who are just trying to have like topics like this that are just talking. Like,
one-sided questions.
Yeah, or it's just like all I'm doing is this. Like, some people just chat. They don't really stream games. They just hop on chat and just chat. They get on a video camera and they talk. And they answer questions in chat, but they don't really give people a chance for their voice, literally their voice, to be heard and to talk. Mm-hmm. And that's what the beauty of this is, man, is I want that to be, you know what I mean? So I know you, Mike. He said he's like, I gotta be me. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I know you, man. I'm just messing. Johnny D, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, man. To the Power Hour, bro. I'm gonna play this last clip, and bro, I hope you guys that are in here on Discord, I hope you guys will stick around some. I'll be on till at least midnight, playing some stuff, hanging out, and let's continue the conversation. Let's continue to just build each other up, power each other up, go out into the world and make a difference, man. And that's what this whole thing's about, man. So I love you guys, and we're gonna watch this last clip. So pull your streams up, and let me go to the stream. Are you on there? Yep. All right. Again, this is another clip. Same dude, different. It's on the same principle here. It's on the same situation, but just another little 1.5, 2-minute clip that I think is timely and just fits. And I follow the same vibe, man. I'm just like, God, it's the same, my same sentiments, man. So, and I've been saying this stuff, and I found these, and I'm like, bro, like, this is so good. Like, check this junk out. Here we go.
If our minds have been going on, when is God going to deliver me? When is God going to help me? I believe God's going to get our minds right. And he's going to use us to bring hope. He's going to use us to bring peace. He's going to use us to bring justice. He's going to use us to shine a light on some things that have been in the dark for too long. Yep.
Facts.
Things like racism.
Facts.
Yet again, there's been a moment that's been put in the national spotlight. But what hurt my heart and what woke me up again was the fact that I heard the normal rhetoric when this happened. I heard people saying stuff like, oh, here we go again, Pastor. You know, don't make this a political thing. Let's not focus on the negative. Let's not forget that we can't change the world. I actually had somebody said, like, I don't want to be thinking about that right now. How about we keep it moving? You know what I said to that person? I said, how about we not?
Come on, man.
How about we not keep it moving? How about we not avoid the thought? How about we not look away? How about we not expect somebody else to show up? How about we not say, God, I don't want to think about this. What if we did the opposite? So when things like this happen, I will be mindful in the moment that as a Christian, it is not just an option for me. It is my job to say, Lord, this is me. This is my problem. These are my tears. These are your people. And I am called to do something about it. Church, if we cannot be people that will put our hands up and say, Lord, send us to the worst of the worst. Send us to the hardest situation in society. If that's not where our minds are, we will miss out on the best part of our entire faith, which is God using us to bring peace where there is war, to bring hope where there is despair. It's my job to look. It is your job to look. Because if I look away, there's nobody else looking.
Come on, man. Bro, I feel like I should play that clip again. It's so powerful, bro. Dang. My God. Like, I choked up listening to that, man. Like, God, man. Like, because
the passion.
Bro, that's literally been my posture this entire week. Like, when I hear everything he's saying, I'm like, bro, that is me, bro. Like, I'm literally from the rooftops wanting to say these same things. And when people come at me crazy and sideways, I'm like, are you listening, bro? Yeah. Why, bro? Do you hear this, man? Like, this is real. Like, this is so freaking true. Bro, it's so good, man. You know what I mean? Goodness gracious, man. Heavy. Oh, man. Hold on. What do you say? I got to catch up. Why do I feel like I've heard of him? You probably heard. I don't know. He's kind of pretty well known, Mike. Get this man on the next Power Hour. I don't know if we'll be able to get Carl Lentz on the Power Hour. Maybe one day. That'd be dope. That would be super sweet. That would be a fantastic Power Hour one, right? Wish I could have talked, but I love you, bro. And just for my love of you, Goku is cool. Ninjas, somebody clip this. Oh man, he just admitted Goku was cool. Oh my God, that's progress. We making progress. Oh man, yeah, my bro out here educating. We trying to, bro. We trying to just one stream at a time, brother. That's it. One stream at a time. That's all we can do. Let me see. Yeah, that is a big step, right? Oh, now, BJ, yes, we are gonna, I've actually made some, I'm gonna get Adam Coleman, my homeboy. He is going to be here at some point. We are gonna get him to video with me, right? I'll be videoing from here. He'll be videoing maybe from his house. We're gonna set that up, and we're gonna have him on here and talk probably through some of this as well, man. I think that would be very educational, man, and good. Because Adam Coleman is my brother. He's a dude I've done life with over the years. He's from VA, and we've done music together. We've hit stages together. We've performed together. We've ministered together. He is a great dude, man, and I love him and his family. Shout out to my boy Adam Coleman. So we'll definitely have to get him on here for sure.
Is that gonna be tonight, or is that gonna be in the future?
Oh no, in the future, like soon, soon. I about to say, if it was tonight, like that's a lot to take in. We gotta. I'm like, there's a lot.
Yeah, I was like, bro.
Like, oh, y'all thought it was done? Part 2 right now, pow.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam is the GOAT.
Yeah, Adam's good people's man.
What is he like a big name figure? I've never heard.
He's an apologist. But also, like, I don't know how to explain it, man. He's just I don't even know what the proper term to describe him is, man. He's just a great dude who knows a lot of stuff and is very smart and wise on, theology and his defense of Christianity not being just a white man's religion and a defender of the faith, but also somebody who is a great apologist for, you know what I'm saying, social discussions and, you know, political systematic breakdowns of things, right? Like I'm not that guy. Like that's not fully me. Like I know enough to skate and play with you on it and get you in and we can talk, but you start going too deep, I might be like, okay, I don't really know all that. We got to holler at my boy Adam.
What part of Virginia is he from?
He's from, I believe, Norfolk. I believe he's in Norfolk.
Norfolk.
Yeah.
No, because that's where I'm from. I'm from.
What? Virginia. Look at that, man. That's like my second home, though.
Yeah.
D Faith is in Virginia Beach.
No,
Yes, sir.
yo, hang on real quick. You ever heard of the Virginia Commonwealth Challenge? Since you're from Virginia Beach?
The
Or nah?
Virginia Commonwealth Challenge?
Yeah, since you're from Virginia Beach.
Nah.
Oh, dang, bro.
That's
Nah, it's a National Guard Challenge program that I went to for 5.5 months.
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah, if you know where Camp Pendleton is, that's where it was.
Okay.
That's dope. Juan said, how do you feel after this discussion, Justin? Has it eased a bit of the negative feelings that you've been feeling lately? Yeah, I mean, and the thing is it wasn't really negative feelings. It was just like, here's the thing, man. Like I said earlier, like I've literally been on the phone every day up until right now. Like even through today, like as soon as I got off the little video chat, I was on the phone with a white police officer I know out in like the Midwest. You know what I'm saying? And like, I have been on the phone. I've been video chatting. I've been talking to so many different types of people to just, again, man, like put in, my heart is broken. My heart has been, and like, that's my whole thing was, Juan, is yesterday, honestly, after last night, I felt better because I was by myself in my car. And I knew all this anger and confusion and just all the different feelings and emotions that I had in me. They needed to, I knew I needed to cry, bro. Like, because I was so pissed off and so mad and so upset. And I needed to do something. And it needed to come out. And I just straight ugly cried in my car by myself. You know what I mean? Like, and I called my mom's up because I didn't know who else to call. I didn't want to call my wife because I was away from the home. And I didn't want to call her up and be like, hey, tell her about everything, because she already knows what's going on. She knows my heart. She knows everything, and like all my frustrations as stuff happens each day. But she had the kids and stuff to deal with, and I didn't want my kids to be like, why is daddy upset? What's going on? I didn't want her to have to deal with all that. So my mom is always somebody who's always been there for me, and is always somebody, shout out to my moms, and she's somebody who's always told me, like, if you ever need to talk, I'm here, even if I just need to listen. And so I just called her and just told her I just need you to listen. And I'm hurt. And I was like, I'm just hurt because my friends are hurting. My friends hurt, Mom. And I'm trying not to get emotional now about it, man, because it's exactly my heart, man. Like that's, and I let it all out yesterday, man, last night, man. And that felt really good, man, to just get all of that
Sometimes
out,
that's
man.
what you need to do.
Yeah, man.
It's healthy, bro, to get stuff off your chest.
It is, man. It is. And if anybody tells you otherwise, that you weak because you cry or because of this, man, you get out of here, man. Miss me with all that. Jesus wept, bro. Get at me. Like, don't even meet me with some talk about the strongest person. Come on, man. Like, get out of here. We ain't talking. Y'all ain't ready for that conversation though. That's a different conversation. But man, I do feel better. I do feel like progress is being made, and from my mom telling me, my wife telling me, you guys telling me, everybody is communicating, like, look, man, like, and I'm seeing, like, you know, Juan, what happened to you tonight, bro, like everything that's happening right now, like I'm seeing people champion and saying, like, thank you for talking about this. Continue, please keep talking, please keep the conversation like this going, please, let's continue to do these things, because that, again, man, that's how we're gonna see change, man. That's how we're gonna see it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it is the shortest verse in the Bible, too. You're right, Metal. Jesus wept. That's it. Oh, man. But yeah, bro, like I love you guys greatly, man. Like I couldn't do this without y'all, man, and I'm glad that I get to in some ways do life with you guys through streaming, through Discord and chatting, and like you guys are all welcome. Anybody that's hearing this, man, like this is a place and a space of just inclusiveness to allow people to feel like they have a place and a space to talk and vent and be themselves. Even if you have an opposing view to me, you don't have to agree with what I say. You don't have to have the same faith as me. We don't have to have that. That's fine. We can still meet and talk and build our way up into things. Like I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro. This is a place of dialogue. 1000%, Juan. 1000. So I'm gonna hit the BRB screen. I'm about to get off this Discord, and I'm gonna see you guys on some games in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go get myself some food real quick because I haven't had dinner yet. I'm gonna go grab that, bring that back, and then we're gonna hop on something, man. Hop on the sticks. Do any of you guys in Discord, do y'all play Call of Duty or any of that? What do y'all
100%. 100%, bro.
I have Call of Duty, but I'm trash though, fam. I'm still hit me on that Mortal Kombat though.
Oh, you got that Mortal Kombat life. I see you. I see you.
Yeah. That Injustice life. Any fighting game, I'm down. But I can play COD though.
I'm about to say,
be that guy.
I'm about to say Dragon Ball Fighters.
Ooh, see, I need to, man. I've never watched. Were you one of those people that got mad when Supes whooped him in those death battles?
Look, man, we don't talk about Superman in here.
You sure about that? Oh, that's
no, man. I got. Look, man, Superman's cool. I just love Goku's character, man. Like, even in the midst of this week, I have felt like Goku at my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like when Goku was down and out with Frieza, all these moments where he wants to give up, he thought about his friends, man. He thought about that's what brought him back into his feet. Was his friends, man. And I'm like, made him level up. And I'm like, yo, what's making me level up is my friends, man. They hurting, but ain't nobody gonna hit my friends, man. I'm up here. Let's go. You feel me? That's a Goku moment, not a Vegeta moment. Vegeta would cowered out. Vegeta backed out.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't ready for that conversation.
What did I come back to? Oh Lord.
You know, just a regular anime debate.
I know, man. I unfortunately missed the whole convo. My parents stopped by after we got back from vacation.
Hey, now I got you, man. No, you good. You good. I'm actually about to hop off, and we're about to get ready to play some games. But so if you guys wanna, we can set up a rotation, and we'll play some Warzone. We'll get everybody in, rotate in, and we'll run quads the rest of the night. Everybody stay in chat, stay in, whatever. Let's
I don't need my scrub. Y'all don't need my scrub.
Hey, man, nah, bro. Like it ain't. It's all about fun. It's all about fun, man. It's all about fun, bro. I don't care. You can be trash, and we can just all laugh about it. We can laugh.
Hey, look, man. Hey, look. If we had a segment in your stream called Trash or Pass, they would hit the trash button on me so fast.
Hey, all I know is, hey, listen. I jump out of the plane. I hit my parachute and I get greedy. I get cocky. I'm like, yo, I got enough room on the ground.
Wait.
And I break my legs.
Hit your parachute?
I break my legs. I break my legs at least twice a stream, bro.
I still remember that time. You're like, guys, I'm back. We're gonna do this. Dead.
I straight Lieutenant Dan myself. So
you ain't
funny,
got
man.
no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
No legs. Oh man. All right, yo, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get some food. But look, man, you guys have tuned into the Power Hour, man. Make sure you power yourself up, power those up around you, make a difference in the community, do something, man, with the voice that you got and the platform that you have, man. So I love y'all. I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Stick around. Don't leave. We're gonna get it in. So I'll be right back.